Hello there and welcome to Alton Park here in Cheshire for the opening rounds of the British Formula 3 International Series, and this year will be bigger and better than ever before. The main changes in hand are more racing. Our drivers will compete in 30 races over 10 events throughout the UK and into Europe, and the eye will be on the big title, so it will be tougher and more challenging than ever before. This season sees several drivers returning for another stab at the title. Carlos Huertas and Daisuke Nakajima were both very quick in the latter part of the season, as was Spa winner Adriano Buzzide, and they look set to be front runners this year.
Well, the only thing that I can do is really work hard, outside of the track, inside of the track, get close to my engineer and try to move forward, push the car in the limit, which is something that I always to love it, and see where that gets me this year.
Stepping up from the national class is the 2009 champion Daniel McKenzie.
And with Fortec Motorsport again, won the national championship last year. I was happy with what they're doing with the car and what they're developing on the car, so I thought it's a safe, known quantity.
Now, last year obviously you very much dominated the national class and had lots of success on the track. Now, what's your plan and thought process for this year?
Well, yeah, that was it was a great year. It worked out really well, had a huge amount of success. This year I would obviously like to do the same sort of thing. Consistency is the key, and as I proved last year, if you finish the races, you can still win the championship without winning every race.
F3's top team are Carlin, and in their impressive lineup are two drivers linked with successful training schemes. Britain's James Calado is backed by the Racing Steps Foundation and should be competitive. And Frenchman Jean-Éric Verne is hoping to make it 3 out of 3 for the Red Bull Juniors training programme.
It's a big challenge for me. I always raced in the big tracks like Monaco, Barcelona. So for me, come in England and race on this kind of track like Alton Park, Snetterton, really small tracks, bumpy tracks, it's pretty hard for me. But this is a big challenge, and I'm looking forward.
The first race of the 2010 season kicked off on Saturday afternoon, and it was Jean-Éric Verne that set the benchmark, claiming the first pole position of the year from Oliver Webb. After a clean start by the field, Adriano Buzzide managed to sneak past and claim third before the field turned into the tight Old Hall corner. However, it was an impressive lights to flag victory for Jean-Éric Verne, letting the others know that he means business this year. So race 1 winner Jean-Éric Verne starts in 7th after drawing that position from the hat for the first ever reversed grid for race 2. It'll be pretty mixed up at the front, so let's join our commentator Martin Haven.
Thanks, Diana. Yes, mixed up is right, and cold temperatures and a track still wet from overnight rain won't help. Now, the way the race 2 grid works is very straightforward. Race 1 winner chooses at random a number out of a hat between 6 and 10. Wherever that number is, that's where he starts, and that's how many cars are reversed. So in this case, our race winner starts in 7th, and the top 7 from race 1 are reversed. That leaves Adriano Buzzide in 5th position, 3rd in race 1. The man who was runner-up was rookie Oliver Webb. He'll start 6th, just ahead of the race 1 winner Jean-Éric Verne, with Jasman Jafar, who was 8th in race 1, starting 8th. He doesn't get reversed. National pole sitter Manisha Idafar of Bahrain. So here we go then, cold and blustery Alton Park circuit ready for the start of race 2, and a slow getaway from Carlos Huertas on row 2. Adriano Buzzide going around the outside by the grass. Nakajima leads Buzzide on the grass. Oh, and Huertas losing out to Svensson. Cook shot by up the inside on what is a barely dry inside line. So it's Daisuke Nakajima that leads them down the hill. Gabriel Diaz in 2nd place, Rupert Svensson Cook immediately angling for a move, and up to 5th place already is Jean-Éric Verne. Rupert Svensson Cook then chasing in 3rd position through the island bend into the heavy braking area for the Shell Oils hairpin. It's twitchy and wet here, but they all keep it under control. The lead trio easing away. That's Adderley Fong stalled on the grid. Now the team have got the engine fired, send him out a little late into the race. All down the inside, Jafar trying to make a move on Verne for what is 6th position, doesn't quite manage to get through. And now he's got Daniel McKenzie right behind him, car number 5. Last year's national class champion. Nakajima under pressure. Diaz is looking to try and get through. Ooh, twitchy, very twitchy here through Druids. It's still very slippery under the trees here. Diaz on the outside, little more grip there. Nakajima forced to brake on the damp. Anybody try and get up the inside? Yes, here comes Alex Brundle, picks up a spot as he goes by a national class leader. Meanwhile, Diaz is trying to go around the outside and Nakajima into Old Hall. Very wet on the inside, they skate wide. Diaz is on the grass. Oh, and he's going to come on right in the middle of the field somewhere. Oh, just manages to get it stopped. But did you see how close Svensson Cook was to Nakajima there? They've got Adderley Fong in front of them. That might present an opportunity for a pass here. Nakajima on the wet on the inside nearly went off as well in the first corner there. Let's take a look. Well, here comes Diaz. He's got more grip. Nakajima on the wet inside line. Always bounced up off the curb into Diaz's car. Diaz lucky not to spin right across the field. Jean-Éric Verne in 5th place. Our race 1 winner locks a wheel right behind Adriano Beside. And there he's got Jafar right behind him. And here comes the lead pair. Carlos Huertas is the 3rd place man, darker blue and white. And Verne trying to go around the outside for a moment there into Knickerbrook. That's going to cost him on the exit. Jafar is close. Carlin boys watching with great interest. And Adderley Fong, what a place to be caught by the field, trying to stay out of the way at Druids. Oh, but that's even worse. He's off. And he'll hopefully come on okay. Rupert Svensson Cook then. Down into Lodge Corner. Nakajima sliding out wide. Svensson Cook's got hooked up nicely here. Here he comes. Closing, closing, closing. This is for the lead. Trying to go down the pit wall side. Has to have a brief lift off the throttle. Nakajima's gone in shallow and flat. He's going to drift out wide and Svensson Cook finds the grip and Nakajima tries to shut the door. But Svensson Cook goes through. Great effort from Rupert Svensson Cook. That was determined, and you saw when Nakajima shut the door to the inside, he immediately went to plan B, backed off, allowed Nakajima to go in flat and shallow, and took him on the exit, and that is thinking driving. Excellent stuff. Now then, he's been harassing Nakajima, and this is where it comes into play. Nakajima in shallow, goes out wide. Again, that wet apex nearly cost Nakajima the ability to stay on the track. Oh, and James Cole, the national class 2nd position man, he's spun off. Looks like he's out. I think he's damaged the rear wing as well. Carlos Huertas ahead of Adriano Beside with the yellow nose is Verne in 5th position. And very rare, really, to have a Frenchman racing here. Yes, look, damaged rear wing. I think James Cole's race is off. The barrier's very unforgiving down there. And this is Gabriel Diaz. Well, it looks like this one's over for him, but don't forget race 3 still to come. And that's a real shame. 0 points from what could have been a race win, as we see again from on board. He was going around the outside of Nakajima. He had grip, but in the water there, Nakajima didn't. The car drifted away from him. Contact was made, and Diaz was off on the grass.
Gabriel, that's a disappointing end to the race. You were battling up the front. What happened?
The start was a bit messy because my handbrake broke. So I couldn't really preload the car. So we lost the 1st position, but we were 2nd, making pressure on Nakajima. We were much quicker, I think. And I tried to overtake him in the end of the 1st corner, the end of the straight in the 1st corner, in the outside, in the dry line. But I don't know if he did it on purpose, I hope not. But he just pushed me off. Probably he just lost control. And then when he pushed me off, I went to the grass and the race was over. We were still really quick. We did fastest lap after that, but we decided to stop, save tires. We're starting P6 next race, so we go forward.
Well, so many more things to think about in this 3-race weekend format. Alex Brundle here battling for 9th with James Calado, who started 20th and last after retiring from race 1. And the points down to 10th place in all these races. So vital that these two don't tangle and that they both end up with a score. And of course, that's going to be so important in the long run. A 30-race championship. You can't afford to lose points in any of them. Massive pressure to be fast and cool-headed and reliable. Well, Brundle doing a good job defending here in his first weekend in Formula 3. Last lap for Rupert Svensson Cook. British father, Norwegian mother, and he is plenty quick, isn't he? Knew how to take the lead, knows how to hold it. The 19-year-old from Ipswich is heading to the checkered flag in his first weekend in British F3, his first weekend racing in the UK in 3 years. It's going to be victory for Rupert Svensson-Cook and Carlin. Fantastic job from him. Holds off Nakajima to the line as Menashe Idefar takes the national class win. So 2 wins out of 2 in the national class for Idefar. On the podium, Carlos Huertas third, Daisuke Nakajima in second. But on the top step for the first time, Rupert Svensson-Cook.
But many congratulations, a great race.
Yeah, it's incredible. My first weekend in British F3 and a win. Didn't expect this, really didn't. And I got a good start, clean off the line. And I knew that if I just kept my nose clean, the pace I had in the first few laps, I knew I could just wait for the moment, the opportunity, and pressure Daisuke into mistake and in the lead, and that was it.
So enjoyable?
Best race of my life.
So Jean-Éric Vergne takes the second pole position of the weekend. So let's see how they all fare around this new featured 40-minute race around this spectacular track. We'll get to the action with your commentator, Martin Haven.
Here's how they line up then for race 3 of the Cooper Tyres British Formula 3 International Series. Fastest lap in qualifying sets this grid, and that was Jean-Éric Vergne taking pole position with Carlos Huertas starting alongside him. Second fastest lap in qualifying, incidentally, sets the grid for race 1. Ollie Webb lines up on an all-British second row ahead of Rupert Svensson-Cook. Jay Bridger, the 08 national class champion, is 5th ahead of Gabriel Diaz. Adriano Bizide, one of the oldest men in the field at 21, starts in 7th ahead of Howell Lloyd. And our national class pole sitter for the third time, Menashe Idefar. So revs rise, race 1 winner Jean-Éric Vergne again on pole position. He set the fastest lap in qualifying. Carlos Huertas stalls. Oh, and around him goes Rupert Svensson-Cook, but the lead pair, Jean-Éric Vergne and Oliver Webb, is 3 wide behind. Svensson-Cook defending from Diaz, and car number 1, that is Bizide. From 10th on the grid, we're with Alex Brundle rushing down the hill in the middle of the jostling pack. And he's made up a couple of places, Brundle, as well. He's got ahead of Jafar there and the number 3 car, William Buller. So good start by Alex Brundle, but the lead pair have got away, courtesy of Huertas stalling. So Oliver Webb clearly was always going to go with Jean-Éric Vergne up the inside, and Jafar takes too much curb on the inside, spins. Oh, and our top 2 in the national class make contact, James Cole and Menashe Idefar. Looks like Idafar's suspension is damaged, he's out as Vergne leads them down to Knickerbrook. So Vergne and Webb, what a jump they've got on the rest of the field. Rupert Svensson-Cook in 3rd from Diaz, and this man, Bizide. But I can't see them catching the lead duo unless they tangle. It's been done before at Oulton Park, of course, and will be again, I'm sure, at some stage. With Alex Brundle then checking the mirrors, James Calado right behind him. And Calado has come from 14th on the grid. So he's had a very quick start. Calado must coat his car in butter or something before the start. He finds gaps all over the place. There he goes down the inside. Well, he makes the gaps, doesn't he? I'm not sure that Alex Brundle saw him coming. And Brundle in only his 3rd race in a Formula 3 car. Same as Calado. A lot of rookies in the field. Only 8 drivers from last year's competition in either class still in the field. A lot graduated from British F3 last year. So we've got 12 newbies in their first weekend, including Brundle, whose car took a wicked weave there. Right behind him, William Buller. And here's Jafar on the mud on the inside at Shell Oil's hairpin, and it was never going to slow down. He got clattered by Cole and Idefar, and Cole has been in, but the car seems to be okay. And Calado now all over Bizide around the outside, trying to produce something spectacular. This is for 5th position, can't quite get through there. Really piling the pressure on the Brazilian though. Well, James Calado, you would think, is the experienced one here, and Bizide perhaps the rookie, but Calado really showing his mettle. Last lap through Druids for Jean-Éric Vergne. And Ollie Webb has tried to keep him honest, but doesn't have an answer to the Frenchman's pace. Van will come out of the final corner to record his second pole to checkered victory of the weekend. Fantastic effort from the Frenchman. It's a rare occurrence that we have a Frenchman in the championship, and it's great to see him performing so strongly. And at the other end of the points, 9th and 10th, Brundle and McKenzie, two Brits, squabbling for every inch of tarmac, and it looks as though Brundle will, he does, stay in front to the line. Our national class winner is James Cole. Rupert Svensson-Cook on the podium again, Oliver Webb in second, but it's win number 2 for our French star, Jean-Éric Verne.
Jean-Éric, many congratulations. 2 results here this weekend, a great start to the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's just perfect to begin a season like this. Then for sure it was, quite an easy weekend for us, and with a good result for the end. And now it's going to be harder because those will get, I think, more hungry. So we just have to work even harder for the next races, and just keep on this way, and it should be really good, I think.
So hard work for all concerned despite the cold weather. Jean-Éric Verne with the series lead from Ollie Webb and Rupert Svensson-Cook preside, and Nakajima giving chase, and James Cole leads the national class.
Hello there and welcome to rounds 4, 5 and 6 of the British Formula 3 International Series. This weekend we're part of the Silverstone Supercar event, and for our talented young drivers in this very tough competition, they have the honour of being the first to race on the new Grand Prix circuit. Race 1 happened on Saturday evening, and it was James Calado who claimed pole position from Ollie Webb. But drama on the warm-up lap saw Menasha Edifar collide into a stranded Felipe Nasr. And it was a busy start to the race into the first corner. Despite Ollie Webb's best effort, he couldn't get past James Calado. And James went on to claim his first win in British Formula 3. So James Calado starts in 8th position after pulling that one out of the hat in the reverse grid, which means Gabriel Diaz starts on pole. Now conditions have changed slightly since yesterday. The wind's picked up and there's been some rain. Here's Martin.
Race 1 winner James Calado pulled 8th place as his starting position out of the hat on the podium, which means the top 8 from race 1 are reversed. Gabriel Diaz then in pole position, as he was in the second race at Oulton Park. Jasmine Jafar starts alongside him, his first front row getaway. Esteban Gutierrez from ART will line up 3rd ahead of Carlos Huertas, with points leader Jean-Éric Verne starting in the middle of the top 8 in 5th position. Daisuke Nakajima, good race 1, he starts alongside him. And then the top 2 from race 1, Ollie Webb and our winner James Calado. National class pole sitter is James Cole, he'll start 17th. Hard to believe it was summer during the week, and now it's almost winter again. Wet weather tyres for the first time all season, and the racing line on the right-hand side as we look at it, away they go. Looks like that's where all the traction is as well. The guys on the driver's right of the grid have got away very slowly. It's Diaz who leads, Gutierrez in 2nd place from row 2. All the men on the odd-numbered parts of the track got away well. James Calado was on the even numbers. He's sunk down the order like a stone as well. And look how wet it is. Very, very difficult conditions, full of spray. Diaz leads, Gutierrez in 2nd place. Nakajima there in 3rd. The yellow noses, Verne in 4th. Jasmine Jafar drifts a little wide in 5th place as they go into the Beckett's S's, and onto the hangar straight we go with Verne. Right up behind Nakajima, he's getting a good tow here. Look, we're creeping closer. Nakajima goes left, Verne is going right. That's normally the less grippy side of the track. In the rain, it probably won't make much difference. He's got the inside line. Is he brave enough to hang on? He is. And it looks like he's made it pay. Oh, I think Nakajima's still there, down through the Vale. Much tighter at the end, much bigger stop. Yes, Nakajima's got back up into 3rd place. Now Verne is going to counter-attack. Club corner here. Much tighter on the exit. Is now a real double apex right-hander splashing through the water. There's the river on the right-hand side where next year's Formula 1 pits will be when they build them. That's the new pit lane area. Then up to Abbey. And now it's a big stop at a right-hand corner. Quick right as we saw Alexander Sims going past Carlos Huertas there. So that puts Huertas down to 7th. There's Jasman Jafar in 5th position, the young Malaysian. Sims latched right onto him. Huertas with Beside. And then the top 2 from race 1, the red and white car, number 6. That's Ollie Webb, the runner-up. Right behind him, James Calado. Ooh, Calado with a much tighter line. And he finds the traction there as well. He picks up a place. 10 times for the high-tech team. Their man clinging on in front. And Carlin hoping that James Calado can work back up the order. Here we are on board with the race 1 winner. Very different conditions from Saturday's evening race. Really cold, really wet, rivers of water across the track. Nonetheless, James Calado, the first ever man to win on this new Grand Prix circuit at Silverstone. And right in front of him now, the battle for 5th position. Jafar on the inside of Van. They drift out wide. It's fallen into Calado's lap. He gets both places. Great effort now. He's really sussed out that tight inside line approach there. Worked really well for him. Van shakes his head. Well, he attacked hard. Jafar defended. They both skittered out a little wide. They both conspired to give the place away. Now he's back down the inside into Brooklands, and that's going to be an interesting pass between Formula One cars as well. Looks like this new layout has opened up lots of overtaking opportunities. This is far from the dull Silverstone F3 races we've had over the last couple of seasons, and it's not just down to the weather. Here we go though, battle for the lead. Alexander Sims on the outside, holding the inside line, Gabriel Diaz. That's very close. On board with James Calado now. He turns in very late on the power, long before the other two, feeds it in smoothly as they drift out wide. As we ride on board again, this is the battle from 7th down into the mid-teens. Great long gaggle of cars. Huertas pulls out of the spray, looking for a good run. Beside out wide. Jafar tight on the inside in the dry line. Looked like the wide way was the way to go. Brundle under pressure there from Buller as they both go by Huertas. Huertas is going backwards. Ollie Webb behind him. Now then on board with James Calado. Charging up into the top half dozen. Race 1 winner. Oh no, 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 no. On the tarmac and just avoids the gravel there. Gets it fired up again, but that's a costly spin. He's lost 2 or 3. Oh my goodness. 2 or 3 places already and nearly had a huge shunt there. Well, there's Calado going in just too hot, way offline. Lots of rubber and dirt down there and spins it away, I'm afraid. James Calado now in 11th place. Felipe Nasser behind him. On board with Calado, our race 1 winner. Right in front of him is Ollie Webb. Now, don't forget he passed Ollie earlier in the race. And then in front of them is Alex Brundle, leader Gabriel Diaz as far as British Championship points are going anyway. Alexander Simpson in front on the road, right behind. Nakajima under pressure. Oh, and look at this. This is at the Exeter Club corner. Massive lake in the duck pond. Engine and driver drowned. So that's bad news for Ollie Webb. Manesha Idafar leading the national class race here. James Cole right behind him. Winner in the first race. Not close enough to catch him on the last lap. Gabriel Diaz not close enough to Alexander Sims, who takes the flag. But for Diaz, it's a first British Formula 3 race win. He's delighted, and so is his dad. Confirmation of Manesha Idafar's national class victory in race 2. Jean-Éric Van takes the points for 3rd behind Daisuke Nakajima and our first-time winner, Gabriel Diaz.
Gabriel, many congratulations. How did you view that race?
I don't know what to say. I'm just so happy. The race was perfect. I couldn't fight with Sims. He was very quick and he was not in the championship. So I decided to back off, control the gap. And it's our first win, so show that we are back in the championship.
So for round 6, James Calado takes his 2nd pole position of the weekend. Can he convert this to another win? We're about to find out. Here's Martin.
James Calado certainly the man in qualifying and the first ever driver to win on the new Grand Prix layout. Can he do it again? Well, round 6 of the Coupetage British Formula 3 International Series sees the Racing Steps Foundation man start on pole once more. Oliver Webb's got a great chance to close down the points gap to the leaders. Great qualifying from William Buller, the rookie. He lines up third ahead of young Brazilian Felipe Nasser. Another exceptional qualifying effort. Daisuke Nakajima's had a solid weekend already. He'll go from 5th with Gabriel Diaz, the race 2 pole sitter and winner, in 6th position ahead of Adriano Buzaid and our points leader Jean-Éric Verne. Menashe Idefar is the national class pole sitter in 17th. So at last, dry weather returns to Silverstone, if not sun and high temperatures. James Calado with another chance from pole position, makes a good getaway. Great start from Nakajima on row 3. And there's a staller in the back, that's Dan McKenzie. Looks like everybody's avoided him. Yes, there's the white car of Alex Brundle. He was right behind McKenzie, so he's got through safely. But a great start from James Calado, leading them as they come down through Maggots and into the Beckett's S's. And from behind him on the grid, William Buller goes from 3rd to 2nd place. Nakajima is in 4th spot. Good getaway from 5th on the grid for the Japanese driver, but there is Jean-Éric Verne. Now he's challenging Felipe Nasser. Nasser started in 4th, and like Ollie Webb in front of him, didn't make the best of getaways. Down towards the end of the hangar straight to Stowe they come. Esteban Gutierrez going around the outside of Carlos Huertas, makes that move pay off nicely as they drop down into the Vale. Huertas completely behind him, so good move by the Mexican driver. Meanwhile, Alex Brundle in the middle of the pack there. Real jostling going on ahead of Menashe Idefar with the blue and silver car leading the national class. James Cole, couple of spots behind him, but Calado has checked out. William Buller behind is fighting a defensive action already halfway around the first lap to try and hang on to that 2nd place. Battles everywhere you look. The blue car is Adriano Buzaid, Felipe Nasser right behind him. The 2 Brazilians battling for 5th ahead of Jean-Éric Verne. While watching with bated breath in the Carlin garage, their man leading away from the restart into the closing half of the race. Green flags wavering everywhere. Down the Wellington straight and a good toe. Oh, he's having a look, Ollie Webb. Looks right, looks left. Well, that was well covered by James Calado. Used his one move to block him off, and Carlos Huertas has stopped. Tire marks on the right side pod there. Well, Alex Brundle with a damaged nose wing as well. Okay, 2 and 2, making 4 in this instance with Huertas. We're in the Vale. Brundle goes to the racing line. Huertas dives to the inside. Oh dear, that's where the tyre mark and the damaged wing come from. 7th place with the yellow nose, Jean-Éric Verne right in front, Adriano Buzaid and Daisuke Nakajima as Buzaid has a lunge on the inside. Now don't forget, Nakajima was in 3rd. He's dropped back behind Felipe Nasser and Alexander Sims. Looks like the Japanese driver is struggling. On board with Verne in 7th. Buzaid lunges left, Nakajima covers. We're on the outside line now. We go inside. Buzaid goes by. Nakajima's hanging on. All low speed stuff. Ooh, little wobble there. Verne gets on the brakes earlier, trying to get the drive on, but Nakajima's blocking that. Well, Verne towing up behind the Japanese driver down the straight. Looks like Nakajima's really struggling. Oh, yes, definitely. And the edge has gone off that engine. It's gone, as they say in the trade, a little soft. Verne moves up to 6th position, picks up a place going on to the last lap, but it has hardly been a champions race weekend for him so far, and that's it. I think Nakajima is going to have to park it. Last lap of the 40-minute race. That is really cruel. He should have been on the podium in 3rd. He will get nothing for the final race, the top-scoring race, and that'll be a concern for his team boss, Boyo Hayat at Raikkonen Robertson. Last lap, Max Snegerev comes towards us ahead of the lead battle in the national class. There's James Cole in the red car, Menashe Idefar in the blue and silver one. The Carlin boys egging on their man as he comes to the line. James Calado, first ever driver to win on the new Grand Prix circuit, becomes a 2-time winner this race weekend. Fantastic effort at Silverstone from him. And behind him, Ollie Webb again in 2nd place, same as race 1. Well, the Carlin Motorsport team in familiar guise, hanging over the fence to celebrate a win, and it's a 2nd win as well for James Cole in the national class. Confirmation then of the British drivers' win in the national class. Felipe Nasser takes third, Ollie Webb in second, but James Calado wins again at Silverstone.
James, many congratulations. A perfect ending to the weekend.
Yeah, brilliant race. Really happy. I knew we were going to struggle a little bit because we knew Ollie was slightly quicker. But we got the car better than yesterday anyway, and I think that was just enough for me to be able to pull away at the end.
James Cole leads the national class from his arch rival. Ollie Webb now 5 points closer to leader Jean-Éric Vergne, but the big news, James Calado jumps up to third.
Hello there and welcome to the British Formula 3 International Series and rounds 7, 8 and 9. This week we kick off our European mini tour. We travel to the famous Manicure circuit here in France. Now, for most of our drivers and the competition, it's the first time they've raced here, so the pressure will be on. So for round 7, it's local boy Jean-Éric Vergne that takes pole position. Let's see how he gets on as we join our commentator, Martin Haven.
Thanks, Di. Well, let's take a look at the grid then for the Cooper Tyres British Formula 3 International Series. Round 7, Jean-Éric Vergne for the first time on a track he knows. The points leader sits on pole with his closest rival right beside him. Ollie Webb lines up a strong second. Danny McKenzie's best qualifying so far sees the 2009 national champion in third ahead of Gabriel Diaz. The improving William Buller is in 5th position with Carlin's Rupert Svensson-Cook sitting alongside him. And on the next row, a pair of South Americans. Brazil's Adriano Buzaide is 7th ahead of Carlos Huertas of Colombia in 8th. National class pole sitter James Cole starts in 17th place. Revs rise, Jean-Éric Vergne on pole, watching the lights, away they go. Oh, and Vergne's got a problem, very slow. Oh, he's lost the engine, now he's got it back again, but he's right down in the pack. Jumping into the lead then, Ollie Webb for Fortec Motorsport, Gabriel Diaz and William Buller, the high-tech drivers right behind. And that is Adriano Buzaide, car number 1, Jasman Jafar challenging him. Oh, and off in the background, Lucas Foresti. And someone else there as well, a white car. Is that Alex Brundle? Looks like it is. Ollie Webb leads then. On the left, there's Jasman Jafar trying to get by Rupert Svensson-Cook. Oh, Buzaide goes wide. Svensson-Cook's clattered into the red and white car of Daniel McKenzie. They're both stuck in the middle of the track. Everybody safely negotiates them with the yellow nose, Jean-Éric Vergne. There he is, right in the middle of the field. It's going to take a while to change that nose, no matter how fast they go. Calado defending against Nasser. On board with Jean-Éric Vergne, closing on 6th place, Howell Lloyd. Howell having one of his best races so far, but Vergne so tight on the inside on 180. He picks up the place. Trouble at the hairpin, Rio Haryanto. The Indonesian driver is off, looks like he's out. Jean-Éric Vergne right behind Carlos Huertas. This is for 5th place. This is where Vergne is at his quickest from 180 all the way through Imola here. Crushed down in the compression, and look at Huertas' car moving around. Vergne's got to try and dive to the inside into Chateau d'Eau. Oh, that was a late move, and Huertas has the room to come back at him. But the writing may well be on the wall. Vergne has raced here before, one of the few drivers who has won his French Formula Renault Championship here in his last outing. And that Manicure experience pays off. He snatches it finally from Carlos Huertas, who's going to have his own problems soon. So Vergne back up to 5th now. He's made up 10 places plus from that first lap mishandling of the start. Well, knowing this track intimately is really helping Jean-Éric Vergne after not quite getting it right at Chateau d'Eau. Down at the Lycée hairpin, he forced the mistake. Huertas braking too late and leaving himself open to attack. Vergne moves on. Now then, here is the battle for 4th place. Jean-Éric Vergne right behind Jasman Jafar. The Malaysian driver may not hang on to this position for long. Vergne is absolutely flying. His car looks so much better planted through there. Down into 180 again. Look at this. Tucking right in at the apex, and he can stay with his rival as well all the way around the long 180-degree corner, even though he goes in offline. But it's this next switchback at Imola where he's just superlative. car set up fantastically, and he just cleaves through the air, right up behind his rival, down the inside. A little miscue under braking though. Can Jafar come back? No, he couldn't cut back in. Jean-Éric checks the mirrors, just reprimanding himself there for his mistake. Come on, let's get it right. And Jafar at the back there in 7th, behind Howell Lloyd, and Carlos Huertas got by him as well. Well, that was another close one, though, at Chateau d'Eau. Take a look as Jean-Éric Vergne comes in hot, just about going to make the corner, but Jafar did well to avoid an accident there. Only just managed to get himself out of harm's way. All over the road, exiting Imola, right up behind his rival at Chateau d'Eau. Can't get alongside him again. Wow, William Buller doing a really great job. Oliver Webb coming out into the final chicane then. He's been a runner-up several times. He's second in the championship now. He claims his first British F3 win, the first this year for Fortec. And the silver and blue car is first to the line. Manesha Idefar wins the national class just from James Cole. Confirmation then of Idefar's national class win. Jean-Éric Vergne recovered to 4th, but William Buller and Gabriel Diaz were on the podium behind first-time winner Oliver Webb.
Ollie, many congratulations. Earlier you said you were fed up with that number 2. Now you've got the number 1. What does it mean?
Yeah, absolutely ecstatic. We got a good start. I'm not sure what happened to some of the others. Cheers, mate. And yeah, we just pulled away, put our head down. The whole idea was to do exactly that and get the fastest times in, which we did at the beginning. And then the last half of the race we can just ease it down so that we can save the tyres for the next race, because obviously it's so hot.
Earlier winner Ollie Webb starts in 7th position, so the reverse grid on this one puts Jasmine Jafar on pole position, so let's see how they get on. So here's Martin Haven, our commentator.
Thanks, Diana. Here's the grid then for round 8 of the Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series, with Jasmine Jafar on his first pole position ahead of 6th place finisher James Calado, who lies 3rd in points. Carlos Huertas will be hoping for a good result from this place on the grid, 3rd ahead of points leader Jean-Éric Vergne, who won't want to stall again. William Buller will start in 5th position after his 3rd place podium in race 1. Teammate Gabriel Diaz alongside him. And Oliver Webb, the winner, pulled 7th place out of the hat as his starting position. That's where the grid is reversed. And behind him, everybody else starts where they finished race 1. Jasmine Jafar sits sweltering on pole position in the first of 3 European race weekends for the Formula 3 boys in 3 weeks. Red lights are on, away they go. Huertas is stranded, everybody's avoiding him. Jafar leads, and Calado versus Vergne into the first corner. Vergne on the inside as they sweep around Estoril. James Calado had the advantage in the left-hander at Grand Court, but he's right there again. Little left-hand kink again favours Vergne. Fantastic stuff, wheel to wheel still as they head down towards the Adelaide hairpin. Jean-Éric has the advantage now of the inside line. Make sure it's his. No, he doesn't. Gabriel Diaz goes by him on one side, Calado on the other. Vergne's 4th. Calado just gets into 2nd ahead of Gabriel Diaz. Wow, what a start to the race. And Jasmine Jafar could make a break and get away from them all if they continue battling. Wow, if they carry this on for the next 3 weeks, it's going to be fantastic. That's Carlos Huertas. His race has gone from bad to over in half a lap. Let's have a look in the background. Oh, misjudges the run on Alex Brundle. And that's almost torn his wheel off. Well, the team's spending 3 weeks on the road now. They really need to limit the damage here at Magny-Cours if they can. Here comes our race lead battle. Calado to the inside. Oh, and he flies over the top of Jasmine Jafar and rolls into the gravel as well in his 2-wheeled car. Well, I think we may well see red flags out. He's pinned in under the car, deep in the gravel. The marshals will need time to extricate him. Jasmine Jafar still seems to be going. He's got Gabriel Diaz behind him. Yes, the red flags are indeed out. And so too is James Calado, luckily. Well, he looks to be okay, and so too does Jasmine Jafar's car. Let's take a look again. Calado goes inside, and Jafar basically just runs him off the road. I'm sure the stewards will take a pretty dim view of that. At At least I hope so. Getting ready to restart them for 10 minutes. Away they go. Slow start from the men on the odd-numbered places. Jafar and Van go backwards. Gabriel Diaz leads. Looked like Ollie Webb going for second place. Didn't get it from Jafar, but he's third ahead of Jean-Éric Van. And that might be a telling result again. The race one winner makes a good getaway. Second time of asking. And again, Van not quick away from the line. He's going to have to work on that. In front of him, Ollie Webb threatening Jazeman Jafar. Webb goes early, and Jafar covers very definitely and very early. Van around the outside, down through the gears. Can he pick up a place? It looks like he has. He has. He's up to third. Manesha Idafar facing the wrong way, got it all wrong under braking. Luckily, everyone avoided him. And Van now looking to try and take second place. Not through the switchback at the Nürburgring, but now up into 180. This is his favoured overtaking place from race one. Not quite alongside Jazeman Jafar. Diaz is escaping, and there's precious little time in this race. So Van has really got to get on with it, as indeed has everyone else. There's no time to sit and wait. There's Ryan Sharp, the high-tech boss. Good result for them, second and third in race one. Gabriel Diaz leading here in race two, and action everywhere you look. Daisuke Nakajima jumping the curbs as Van gets a good run. Here we go, Jafar in front, left-hander at Grand Courbe. Is he going inside there? Ooh, he was as well. Goodness me, Estoril, now he's got to get this sorted out and get a good run going. Jafar kicks up the dirt. That's going to leave him slow on the run-up to the Adelaide hairpin. Tarmac is grippier than grass. You get a better drive off the corner, and that's the result of that tiny mistake. Jafar cut the corner, and Jean-Éric Van gesticulating, let's get after the man in front. Come on, stop messing me around. Well, Van's second start, again, not getting those revs right at all. The 1 weak chink in his armoury this weekend, but goodness, that was close. Oh, didn't see that first time round. On board again with Jean-Éric Van. This for the lead around the outside of Diaz. Brave stuff. Now is Diaz alongside him still? Yes, he is. Van accelerates hard, Diaz accelerates hard, wheels interlocking. This is really dangerous, edge of the seat stuff from both men. They go through Nürburgring together. Van takes the lead, but he used the green, not the grey. Now then, is he going to give the place back? Not at 180, he's not. The rule is, if you cut the chicane and gain an advantage...
Let him by, because Diaz is going to get the penalty. Let him through.
Well, he's telling Jean-Éric's race engineer, let him back in front. We think he's got a jump start penalty coming as well. So, double jeopardy for Van if he stays in front. He gives Diaz the lead back with half a lap left to run. And now he's got to do it all over again, looking at the Nürburgring, almost overlapping. He's going in too fast, too flat, over the curbs again. Take care, Jean-Éric. Don't throw this win away. Diaz rushing towards the line, out of the final chicane. Victory for him, but on the timing screens, a 1-minute penalty has been applied by the stewards. Goodness me, right before the end of the race. So Van will take victory. Meanwhile, behind the pack, it's James Cole, the national class winner. Let's take a look again at a replay of the start. Diaz on the right, front row of the grid. Red lights are on, and still on, and still on, and he creeps before they go. Oh, that was close. James Cole, the national class winner. Penalties for Diaz and Jazeman Jafar mean that William Buller is third behind Ollie Webb, and our race 2 winner, Jean-Éric Van.
We came on the outside, and then the chicane. I think we touched a little bit, so I cut a bit the chicane. But as I wanted to be sure to don't get any penalty, I let him pass again. But in the radio, they told me he's got a time penalty anyway because of the jump start. So I'm really happy to win the race.
So a great result for Jean-Éric Van in an eventful sprint race, and he was starting from pole for the 40-minute feature race 2. Championship rival Ollie Webb again alongside him. They were the fastest men throughout qualifying, and now a win apiece. But again, Van's start let him down, Webb easing into the lead away from the line. In the midfield, Alex Brundle and Felipe Nasser locked wheels, though both survived. Brundle seems to have the trouble magnet attached, though. He interlocked with Nakajima in the very next corner. The Carlin team's hard work rebuilding his car paid off. James Calado charging through the field here, passing Rupert Svensson-Cook for 5th. Further back, but Zaid was struggling with a damaged engine cover, desperately trying to hold off Jasman Jafar for 10th. A mistake by Manesha Idafar allowed James Cole through for the national class lead. They too had a win apiece already. Rio Haryanto locking up, trying to avoid William Buller at the Adelaide hairpin and spinning out. At the front, Ollie Webb put in an impressive drive, absorbing massive pressure from Van to bring the car home for win number 2 of the weekend and his season so far. What's more, he stole the championship lead.
Ollie, many congratulations. Clearly you're very happy with that one.
Over the moon. Well, 2 first and a second, 2 fastest laps, pretty much pinpoint perfect. Awesome. Leading the championship by 10 points and a track I've never seen in my life. So happy.
In fact, it's even closer than he thinks. It's not 10, it's 2 Ollie Webb has over Jean-Éric Vergne. James Calado needs some good fortune, though. He's nearly 50 points off the lead in 3rd.
Hello there and welcome to the British Formula 3 International Series, and the dust hasn't even settled after our races in France, and we've moved east to Hockenheim here in Germany for rounds 10, 11 and 12 on the second leg of our mini European tour. For race 1 it was our fast Frenchman on pole, Jean-Éric Vergne ahead of Brazilian Gabriel Diaz. The start proved chaotic when Diaz had problems just before the lights changed. The race had to be restarted and it proved eventful. The officials had been strict all through qualifying about obeying the track limits on the first corner, and several drivers picked up drive-through penalties, learning a costly lesson. In the national class, the lead chopped and changed several times, but it was James Cole who came out on top. It proved to be a great race for Malaysian driver Jasman Jafar, taking an impressive 2nd place behind Vergne, who kept out of trouble and went on to claim the win, and restoring him to the top of the points table. So for round 11 here at Hockenheim, it's national class leader James Cole just behind me, who lines up in 9th after a great race earlier. Unfortunately, he just missed out on the reverse grid situation, but it could have put him up the front of the grid. But alongside him for this one is the championship leader Jean-Éric Vergne. So before we get to the action, let's join our commentator, Martin Haven.
Thanks, Diana. Well, here's how they'll line up for round 11 of the Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series. 8th in race 1, that turns round into pole for race 2 for Oliver Webb, with Gabriel Diaz out of luck in Manicourt alongside him. Jay Bridger is 3rd on the grid. Good start place for him, ahead of Adriano Buzaid. So it's Mercedes engines on the left and Volkswagens on the right, until row 5 when we get to VW-powered James Calado and Daniel McKenzie with his Mercedes engine in 6th position. Jasman Jafar, the race 1 runner-up, lies in 7th, and just behind him, Jean-Éric Vergne, our race 1 winner. Full grandstands, bright sunny weather, perfect conditions for the sprint race here. Red lights are on, away they go. Good start for Ollie Webb on the right, very slow from the other front row man, Gabriel Diaz. Row 2's gone by him on the inside with the orange highlights. Up into 2nd goes Buzaid. Webb leads comfortably though through the first corner. Somebody drifting out wide in the background, that's Wayne Boyd. Ollie Webb leads, Adriano Buzaid in 2nd. Jay Bridger, red and white in 3rd. Lock up from Jean-Éric Vergne. He's in about 6th position at the moment behind James Calado. Felipe Nasser drifts out wide. And Ollie Webb trying to make his excuses and leave the party to battle behind him. Entertaining times in store now for Oliver Webb. Gabriel Diaz has slashed his advantage. It's gone from 2 seconds now down to about 2 car lengths. And everybody looking very nervous on the high-tech pit wall. Can Diaz take victory here? Don't forget, he won maximum points at Silverstone in the rain, but he was 2nd on the road behind one of the visiting Euro Series drivers, Alexander Sims. And their ART red and white cars, not dissimilar to that of the Fortec man who leads the race at the moment, Oliver Webb. So will history repeat, or will the resurgent high-tech team capitalise on their form here? Well, Diaz isn't waiting for a second bidding. First opportunity, straight down the inside, controlled the corner well, got the car deep in under braking, and Webb had no answer for that. Further back, Jazzman Jafar with Rupert Svensson-Cook behind him in the bright green car of Lucas Foresti picking up a place as Diaz hangs on to the lead and starts to stretch away. Let's have a look again. Well, Diaz comes late. Oliver Webb replies, but it's all too late. Diaz was down the inside and into the lead. Here's our national class leader then, James Cole, closing on the battle in front in the closing stages. Alex Brundle is nearest to him, but they're 3 wide there. Ooh, goodness me. Dan McKenzie in front of Lucas Foresti. Felipe Nasser and Alex Brundle, the rest of that 4-car train, all squabbling behind Carlos Huertas just on the fringes of the top 10. And there is our race leader, Gabriel Diaz, keeping himself out of harm's reach. Looks like he's got a little bit more grip to play with towards the end of the race as well, and he will stay in front, heading this time for an outright victory. His first in British Formula 3, a big day for high-tech. He takes victory. Ollie Webb in second, Adriano Bizide in third. The high-tech team delighted. And right in the middle of the throng, there the red car with the yellow highlights. That's James Cole. He wins the national class just from Manisha Edafar. Confirmation then of Cole's national class victory. Jean-Éric Verne a slightly lacklustre 5th. Ahead of him, 2 Brits and 2 Brazilians. And for the first time, it's Gabriel Diaz, our outright winner.
Gabriel, many congratulations. You certainly deserved that win today.
Yeah, the car was great. The team really deserves this. We've been through some difficult times, so it's just great for us. I'm just so happy right now.
I can see you're very emotional.
Yeah, but thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll try to do it again.
Round 12 here in Hockenheim, just about to get underway. We've seen wins for Gabriel Diaz and Jean-Éric Verne. And Ollie Webb starts down in 5th with this one, so he's got a bit of work to do. Here's Martin.
Thanks, Diana. Well, here's how they'll line up then in bright sunshine again for round 12 of the British Formula 3 International Series, with the 2 worst starters in the field on the front row. Jean-Éric Verne again fast in qualifying, fastest man of all. He takes pole from Gabriel Diaz, who's on a real high after his first win the day before. Adriano Bizide lines up in 3rd with William Buller, again looking really strong. And an important race for Oliver Webb. He needs a good result here to stay in touch with Verne. He'll line up 5th ahead of the resurgent Daisuke Nakajima, with Jazzman Jafar and Rupert Svensson-Cook rounding out the top 8. Our national class pole sitter is James Cole. He's in 18th place on the busy grid. Bright, sunny and a little windy for the final feature race of the weekend. Dry conditions though, red lights are on, away they go. Verne goes well, and again on the left. Dreadful start from Gabriel Diaz. This time 4 cars go by him, 5 maybe. Verne leads into the first corner, and that was vital for the championship leader not to fluff the getaway like Magny-Cours. Under pressure from car number 1, Adriano Bizide. They're 3 wide behind. And that's William Buller on the inside, making his way up to 3rd place. Yes, he does. Good start from him. Oh, and trouble behind. That's Howell Lloyd. On board with Howell into this right-left flick. He's at the apex safely, clattered into from behind. Oh, and that's trouble for our national class leader, Manisha Edafar. Lost the engine, he spun at the hairpin, but because he's in a dangerous position, Marshall's pushing him out of the way as Felipe Nasser comes in. Looks like retirement for him. Think he's got a vibration of some kind. Calado down the inside as Svensson-Cook. And James Calado moves up to 8th position. Dan McKenzie just in front. And Calado coming up from 12th on the grid, but he's about to inherit another place because we have just been told that both Fortec drivers have got a drive-through penalty for running off the track. And there they go then, Dan McKenzie and Ollie Webb behind him coming down pit road to take their drive-through. Both on the podium on Saturday and both out of luck on Sunday. Mick Kouros, who runs the Formula 3 operation, and team boss Richard Dutton there with the white hair, looking very disappointed. And Jeff really putting together a fantastic, fine, fast performance, no mistakes whatsoever. He will claim win number 5 of the season. Fantastic effort from the Frenchman and from Carlin, the dominant force. Confirmation, Manisha Idafar winning the national class. Jasman Jafar again on the podium. William Buller, his best result yet in second, but the winner by a country mile, Jean-Éric Verne.
Jean-Éric, many congratulations. That was a very dominant drive again.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it was an amazing race again. So it's a really great result. I'm really happy.
Well done, Frenchie.
Thank you. And I'm really happy for the team. It has been a bad weekend in Manicourt, and now it's we forget this weekend now.
Great to go one more step, because we were third last week in Manicourt, and now we're second. We just need to go that little bit further.
It's a good comeback, and we just have to keep on working hard, and the more you work hard, and you can see the results, you know, so it's good.
James Cole continues to lead the national class. Oliver Webb came to Germany 2 points in front and leaves 34 behind. No Frenchman's ever won the British Formula 3 Championship. Jean-Éric Verne may well be the first.
Hello and welcome to Rockingham here in Northamptonshire, and after a 6-week break, the British Formula 3 International Series bounces back into action for rounds 13, 14 and 15 of this very competitive competition. For race 1 here at Rockingham, it was Ollie Webb on pole position ahead of Carlos Hersus in second. Off the line, Jean-Éric Verne made an impressive start, quickly claiming second place and then the lead. In the national class, it was Manisha Idafar that led all the way from his rival James Cole. In the closing stages, Carlos Hersus was closing in on Verne, but couldn't force his way past the Frenchman, allowing Verne to claim win number 6. So for round 14 here at Rockingham, Daisuke Nakajima starts on pole with the partially reversed grid. And added to the mix for this one, we've got the introduction of pit stops, so it should be quite a challenge for all the teams and the drivers. Here's Martin with the rest of the grid.
Here's how they line up for round 14 of the Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series. First pole of the year for Daisuke Nakajima as the top 10 from race 1 are reversed. Adriana Bezaid, a winner in Spa last year, starts alongside him. National class champion Daniel McKenzie, the reigning one, he lines up third ahead of Felipe Nasser, so a chance perhaps of a first-time winner this season. Gabriel Diaz won in Hockenheim last time out. He lines up fifth ahead of one of the stars of the European rounds, William Buller, in sixth. James Calado and Oliver Webb, second in the championship, make up row 4, and Carlos Huertas and race 1 winner Jean-Éric Verne, 9th and 10th. Warm and dry conditions at Rockingham, which is a pleasant relief after the rain of the previous couple of days, so ideal for racing. Ready for round 14 to get underway, and a good start from Daisuke Nakajima, also from Adriana Bezaid. Danny McKenzie very slow away. Felipe Nasser's black car goes around him, and James Calado forced onto the grass there by Gabriel Diaz on the inside. Calado had a good start from the row behind Diaz, but all to no avail. Meanwhile, our leader, Daisuke Nakajima, and will they all make it safely through? Yes, they do. That's not bad at all. Well, usually you can count on some confusion there, and down into the second corner as well. A few wheel-to-wheel moments, little lock-up, couple of touches, but nothing too major. What's been going on with these guys? Daisuke Nakajima leads from Adriana Bezaid, and then Felipe Nasser in third place. Really quick in testing here, Nasser, the young Brazilian. Looks like he's starting to really get on top of these Formula 3 cars. It's quite a big jump from Formula BMW. Behind him, 5th and 6th place battle. The two high-tech teammates, Gabriel Diaz ahead of William Buller, and then with the yellow nose, Jean-Éric Verne. And he's already up to 7th place. There you can see Daniel McKenzie in car number 5, 4th place, lost a spot away from the start, and that won't please him very much. And Felipe Nasser not even looking in the mirrors at the moment. Feels that he's got McKenzie very much under control. He's looking at the two guys in front of him. the Japanese and his compatriot, the Brazilian in second spot, Adriano Bizai, who chases Daisuke Nakajima. Look at the red and white car of Dan McKenzie now. He's got a good run going. He came onto the banking very quickly, and he's right up behind Felipe Nasser. Nasser goes low to defend. Up on the high side is Dan McKenzie. Can he go around the Brazilian's nose? Not quite, surely. No, Nasser has the inside line, but he turns in tight, and McKenzie counterattacks again on the exit. No, Nasser's got the line up to the next corner. It's a right-hander and confusion behind. That's James Cole facing backwards. 2 or 3 other cars involved. Oh dear, Manesha Idafar is one of them. Getting ready to spin turn, left puncture. Idafar's got a left rear puncture. Look at that left tyre, very flat indeed. Yes, he must be aware by now, not quite sure. Oh, he's definitely aware now, isn't he? Car oversteering horribly there. James Cole scrambles by. Let's have a look at what happened here. Oh, Cole inside Snegerev, and it's Cole's wing that punctures Idafar's tyre. That's very unfortunate between our class leaders in the national class. Back with our race leader, Daisuke Nakajima. A Japanese driver really needs to concentrate here, keep his focus, build up a big lead as much as he can, because, of course, pit stops to come for the first time in British F3. And in fact, there are cars in the pit lane already. Gabriel Diaz comes out, Jean-Éric Verne comes in, and this is the way it works. Come to a halt, touch with the lollipop, away you go. Minimum period at rest. Adriano Bizai under pressure for second, outbreaks himself. Dan McKenzie's had a few goes there, and this time forces the error from the Brazilian. McKenzie up to second place. Don't forget, last year's National Class Championship winner, won number of times there. Here's our race leader in. Daisuke Nakajima, stop and a little longer to go. That must have cost him second, maybe 2 seconds, compared to the likes of Jean-Éric Verne. In comes Rupert Svensson-Cook. Again, just a little period at rest, and it's so hard to win even a 1/10 of a second off arrival on the track. Stopping there for a second too long might cost you something, might cost you a place. Here's Adriano Bizai coming in from third place. Another of the Carlin cars. Little lock up and away he goes. It's pretty slippery there on the concrete. That's very dusty, and that means that Daniel McKenzie, our race leader, now comes in. McKenzie having a great time. He is the very last man to stop. We're on board with Oliver Webb climbing his way through the field. That's James Calado in front of him. And a real tyre screeching Dukes of Hazzard style stop there for our race leader Daniel McKenzie. Calado right in front of us. Webb looking at the inside, keeps his nose out of harm's way there, but only just. Calado getting in a little hot, I fancy. There is Calado with the blue nose. There is Webb right behind him, Carlos Huertas. This is a big battle here. Half a dozen cars involved in this scrabble right in the points, and there is the setup after the pit stops. Daisuke Nakajima was leading before he stopped, and then Daniel McKenzie took over the lead, and McKenzie making a better fist of it. Told you that second or two at rest might cost Daisuke Nakajima. It has, it's cost him the lead. Huertas here, second in race 1, 7th place now in race 2. Well, he's got in front of Oliver Webb, and he's now attacking James Calado, who in turn is chasing William Buller. So Webb losing a place to the Colombian driver. Is it all over? Looks like it might be for him. They're just starting to ease away. Meanwhile, out front, Daniel McKenzie coming out of the final corner. He will become a first-time winner this season and a first-time winner ever in British Formula 3 outright as the Fortec team celebrate. Confirmation then, Adriano Bizai takes third, Daisuke Nakajima the pole man in second, but it is an important day in the career of young Daniel McKenzie, our winner.
Daniel, many congratulations. How sweet does that win feel?
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. I like that one. Didn't have a particularly good start. But, you know, just thought, well, at the end of the day, everyone's going to be diving into the pits. It's got to keep pushing, getting those lap times in. And, yeah, managed to pip Nakajima in the pit stop. So, yeah, very satisfying. Really enjoyed that one.
Round 15 here at Rockingham, and it's Britain's Ollie Webb that starts in pole position. But alongside him, just over here, is the championship leader, the Frenchman Jean-Éric Verne. Now, he'll be looking to collect maximum points today.
Here's how they line up for round 15 of the Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series, with second man in the championship Oliver Webb on pole position and his title race leading rival Jean-Éric Vergne alongside him. Carlos Huertas is in third place on the grid, ahead of Felipe Nasser, who was very fast in pre-event testing. Then the impressive 16-year-old Pietro Fantin, his first ever weekend in any form of racing car. He's fifth, ahead of Adriano Buzaid, with Jasman Jafar and Gabriel Diaz on row 4 of the grid. 16th, and again on national class pole, is Manesha Idafar. So the crowd ready for the final race of the weekend then. Oliver Webb on pole, Jean-Éric Vergne alongside him, top 2 in the championship. And 6 wins for Vergne, 2 for Webb. Will either man be able to add to them here? Looked like a pretty even start, but a good getaway from behind Carlos Huertas, the white and blue car. Oh, and he's looking inside Jean-Éric Vergne. Vergne trying to squeeze him down to the white line. Oh, tries to cut in again and contact. And Huertas isn't going to stop that before it hits the wall, surely. No, he doesn't. Into the first corner. Oh, and Webb's gone round, and cars all over the place. Nakajima sitting there without a wing, and Felipe Nasser leads now from Adriano Buzaid and Jasman Jafar. Vergne there in 5th place. Well, that's Svensson Cook on Nakajima's nose. Broken suspension for the young Brazilian Pietro Fantin, 16 years old, his first ever race weekend in a car. James Calado's view of this, he goes inside Nasser and Jafar in front. Huertas and Vergne collide down into the braking area for the hairpin. Vergne straight into the leader. Ooh, and Calado has to go on the dirt around the outside. I think that's the end of the road for Nakajima. Hardly worth rejoining, even if they fit a new wing. Let's take a look at Jean-Éric Vergne's view of that. Don't forget, battling for second place with Carlos Huertas. Contact with the Colombian there, checks the mirror, and then always missed his braking point, right into the back of the leader, spins him around. Well, 2 accidents in 1 corner, not edifying. Safety car lights are out. We're about to go green. Let's catch up with Nakajima first.
Daisuke, obviously it was pretty close going into that corner. You seem to have come out the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know really what happened, you know. But at least I've got some scar at the helmet, so I don't know who, but all I saw was someone's floor, you know, on the car, you know, on my car. So it's a shame.
It is a shame. Lucky boy, that was Pietro Fantin, went over his head. Here we go. Green for Jean-Éric Vergne now in 5th position. Can he catch the leaders? Can he put himself back up towards the front of this race? Felipe Nasser leads. Look at that high, wide enhancement around the outside. Goes Adriano Buzaid. Jasman Jafar in 3rd position. The lockups further back. Oh, and Buzaid made the pass. He has the lead. So Brazilians 1st and 2nd, Malaysian 3rd, British driver James Calado 4th ahead of Jean-Éric Vergne. Now, can Adriano Buzaid escape? Won last year in Spa-Francorchamps, has not had a race win this year in British F3. On board with James Calado in 4th place, that's Jasman Jafar in front. Don't forget he was battling him and Nasser right out of the first corner. And he's got Jean-Éric Vergne behind him, who takes a look in the mirror to see where his teammate is. There is the Frenchman in 5th position. And having had a grandstand seat of Vergne's exploits on lap 1, I'm sure Calado will be a little cautious not to leave the door open for the Frenchman. Swinging round then onto the banking. Diana's in the pits, and she has caught up with Carlos Huertas. He's already out of the race.
Carlos, what happened?
Yeah, just to the start, reasonably okay, the 3 of us, and then Vergne just squeezing me more and more and more, and then we just touched, and my suspension was broken, so.
It did look pretty tight as you went into the corner.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the outside, and he just kept turning more and more, you know, no need to do that, and yeah, ruins his race, my race, and not good.
Back with our race leaders. Adriano Buzaid still holding off Felipe Nasser and Jasman Jafar, with James Calado now 4th position. Again has a long check to see where Jean-Éric Vergne is. Not close enough here, so Calado takes the normal racing line, but he is dropping back a little bit from Jasman Jafar. He wants to concentrate on the Malaysian in front and sort of ignore the Frenchman if he can, particularly through this tight and twisty section. Ooh, mistake there on the grass. Big corrective slide, has to get off the throttle on the grass again. Vergne is through for 4th. That's a mistake from Calado, and that'll put him under pressure from behind as well. checks the mirrors, and that's why William Buller is right there, showing his nose on the inside. William Buller, twice a winner this season, still looking very aggressive. Let's have a look from the outside and see how Calado goes a couple of inches wide here onto the dirt. There, costs him a place instantly before the corner's over. Here's the battle for the lead then. Here comes Nasser again. And again, Bezaid goes low and defensive. Nasser on the outside. Oh, sold the dummy. Cuts back on the inside. They bang wheels. They survive. Nasser back in front. Well, he's followed Bezaid for a number of laps. He's shown that move before. This time, he was not going around the outside. He suckered Bezaid into going in deep and cut back to the inside. That is great racing from Felipe Nasser. On board with Jean-Éric Verne, now chasing down Bezaid and Jafar, second and third in front of him. Well, after those two lap one incidents, it seems there is no real drama for Verne's car. He lunges to the inside of Jafar for third. Little bit of a touch there, possibly, no. Jafar stays in front, but there's a lot of defending coming up from the Malaysian. Jean-Éric Verne in that Carlin Motorsport car, chasing his teammate in another Carlin Motorsport car. In fact, most of the cars around him at the front are from Carlin. Adriano Bezaid, second place for Carlin as well. The race leader, Felipe Nasser, Raikkonen Robertson Motorsport. Ooh, and spin turning is Lucas Foresti. Gets the car going once more as we ride with Jean-Éric Verne. Ooh, has a look at the inside, but the door's shut fairly dramatically there. Carrying a lot of speed round the outside. The Frenchman's got the advantage here. He's taking third. Yes, he does. Meanwhile, Diana is in the pits with an ex-British Formula 3 driver.
Corinne, good to see you here. You're obviously still enjoying Formula 3.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great formula. I have a lot of friends here in the pit lane and in many teams, really. So I always enjoy coming out here, watch the races and see who's coming up next. But no, British F3 has always been a great formula.
Obviously, you're now in Formula 1. How's that going?
Yeah, it's tough, obviously, with the team and the circumstances we're in. New team at the back of the grid. It's quite hard work, but it's still Formula 1. You know, it's nice to have been there, and you know, we've got a long way to go, and hopefully next season we'll have a better opportunities to start fighting for points and start fighting for Q2 and things. But so far, I've enjoyed it.
So Karan Chandok enjoying returning to British Formula 3 in an exciting final race of the day here as well. Adriano Bezaid defending second place from his teammate Jean-Éric Verne. The Frenchman goes high. Bezaid goes high to cover that as well. No chance of the cutback on the inside, but Verne skating around the outside, wheel to wheel. Oh! Picks up a wheel on the dirt, and still he's on the inside. He is in really determined form. Through for second place. Bezaid now under pressure from another Carlin teammate, and that is Jazeman Jafar with a turquoise highlight. But Jean-Éric Verne up to second place. Bezaid led here, he's now down to third. And with James Calado, we're in fifth position, still chasing. And it's, yes, yet another Carlin Motorsport car. They are all jammed up in the front here, knocking the wheels off each other. All defending on the inside. That's because Hi-Tech's William Buller is right behind as we look at Jafar. And Buller all over the back of Calado. Calado there with a blue nose at the top of the picture. And they are being caught as well by Oliver Webb, who is closing up after being knocked down into the teens at the beginning of the race and struggling behind the safety car. So battle for third is on. Third, fourth, and then fifth, sixth and seventh are all together. Trevor Carlin there on the right-hand side watching all the action. Felipe Nasser way out front, but here is the battle for third now. Up high goes Jazeman Jafar, and the blue car, blue and orange of Adriano Bezaid gets a little rub from behind. Jafar looking pretty determined as well here. Bezaid defending hard, gets hit from behind. Jazeman Jafar loses a nose. Through goes James Calado. He wants to get by. Jafar, he knows is in trouble. We're with Oliver Webb just in front. Car number 3, that's William Buller. Around the outside of number 1, that's Adriano Bezaid. James Calado in front with the red tail. You can see him trying to go through now. Jazeman Jafar skates off as the car won't go around the corners. And Trevor Carlin trying to figure out what's been going on. Must be a lot of radio traffic, and here's why. Jafar runs into the back of Bezaid. Calado trying to go by. Oh, come on! Well, that's teammates for you, James. They don't always let you through. On board with Oliver Webb in 5th place. Oh, William Buller skates across the grass on the inside, but he takes the place. And that might be really important for William Buller. Some aero bits and pieces flew off, possibly both cars, so they'll be equally hamstrung. Well, Oliver Webb perhaps should have been leading. The man that is this man, Felipe Nasser, the 17-year-old Brazilian, heading perhaps, yes, Raikkonen and Robertson aren't quite sure, but it looks almost certain now to his first ever British Formula 3 win. Like Daniel McKenzie in race 2, a first-time winner. Felipe Nasser wins in Rockingham. And James Cole takes a national class win by a narrow margin. Well, confirmation of the result then. James Calado third, Jean-Éric Verne second, but a momentous day for teenage Brazilian Felipe Nasser.
Felipe, many congratulations, a fantastic drive. What does this win mean to you?
That's very special. I mean, my first win in British F3.
Well done, man.
Thanks,
well
man. Thank you very much. And sometimes
good race.
sometimes we need to be lucky as well. And but yeah, that was our best weekend so far. The car got better, we improved, the whole team. And I knew I had a good car, at least in the top there with the guys I could fight in front. And here we are, my first win.
Started P19, finished 7th. It's great now, we're starting getting on the roll. Had finished 9th at Hockenheim and 7th here. It's progressing forward now.
Well, confirmation that James Cole still leads the national class. James Calado third in the overall standings behind Oliver Webb. Jean-Éric Verne narrowly opening up his lead margin.
It's the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit here in Belgium that plays host to rounds 16, 17 and 18 of the British Formula 3 International Series. Now, this is a circuit that demands respect from our drivers, mainly because of its fast, twisty, hilly characteristics, which make it very much a challenge. And added to that mix, of course, is the legendary changeable Spa weather. For race 1 at Spa, it was Jean-Éric Verne on pole. However, off the line, James Calado made the better start and took the lead. But Gabriel Diaz and Carlos Huerta soon found out that the pit path wasn't wide enough for 2 cars. Despite a poor start from Manesha Idefar in the national class, he battled back to take the lead and go on to take a comfortable win. At the front end of the field, Jean-Éric Verne reeled in James Calado to take the lead and go on to take his 7th win of the season. So it's round 17 here at Spa, and it's Felipe Nasser that takes pole position. So can he grab the opportunity to try and get another win? We're about to find out. Let's get to the action with Martin Haven.
Thanks, Diana. And as they line up for round 17 of the Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series, Felipe Nasser on pole position, fellow Rockingham winner Daniel McKenzie alongside. They were 7th and 6th in race 1. 5th place race 1, 3rd on the grid here is Adriana Bazide, with title contender Ollie Webb in 4th place. And then 3 more Carlin Motorsport cars. Alton Park winner Rupert Svensson-Cook ahead of Silverstone double winner James Calado, and race 1 winner here Jean-Éric Verne, who lines up in 7th. Luca Foresti completes the top 8. Our national class pole setter Manisha Idefar is in 12th. So warm and sunny conditions, and so far the Spa weather is being very kind to us. On pole position with Felipe Nasser, 26 cars on the grid, including a number from the Euro Series once more, and away they go. Good start from the front row men, good start 2 from Bazide. He comes around looking for, and in the background on the left, up against the pit wall, Jazaman Jafar. Bounced over, I think, Manesha Idefar. Malaysian driver is out for sure. Well, there's nothing much worth having on that car anymore, is there? Lots of work for the team to do. Nasser leads them into Eau Rouge for the first time. Bazide in 2nd place. Then the 2 Fortec teammates, McKenzie and Webb. Jean-Éric Verne, 5th position already. Squabbling from first to last now. Nasser checks the mirrors, too late. Bazide got a great slingshot up the hill. This is an extremely steep hill, really power sapping. Bazide trying to take the line, Nasser trying to stay with him. That was only ever going to go one way. Nasser had nowhere else to go. And this is where Jean-Éric Verne really capitalised in race 1. He's got great speed, great traction through Eau Rouge, and it's like being fired off the deck of an aircraft carrier. If you get a better run out of Eau Rouge than your rival, you have loads of extra speed, and there it is from Felipe Nasser's viewpoint. Nasser may be carrying a little bit too much wing, but whatever the setup on Verne's car, he is using it impeccably. He leads. Battling for 2nd is Dan McKenzie, the red and white machine. Nasser having to watch his P's and Q's as they get out of the top of the hill. Oh my goodness me! Adriano Bizide, and that's Carlos Huertas he's tangled with. Don't forget, Bizide challenging for the lead. Lap 1 here. Dropped down the order. That was the battle for 12th, and that move didn't go anything like as well as he'd hoped. On board now with the Brazilian, Lucas Foresti chasing Munoz. And Carlos Huertas not exactly overjoyed with his weekend either. Let's have a look. They tangle at the apex of the first right-hander of Les Combes. Puncture for Huertas, damaged suspension for Bizide. Jean-Éric Vergne and Felipe Nasser, first and second, turn into Les Combes. See all the brake marks there where things have gone wrong. Then the battle for third, Dan McKenzie, James Calado. Then the battle for fifth. Ollie Webb on the inside, Carlos Munoz, the young Brazilian, trying to battle against him, and they've dropped Lucas Foresti, and it all happened again under braking at the bus stop. Ollie Webb turning in here, Munoz just getting checked up into the back of him, and Foresti spinning, having tapped the back of Munoz as well. Felipe Nasser chasing up to the bus stop for the final time. Jean-Éric Vergne on the brakes nice and early. Ooh, a puff of smoke from the Frenchman, feeling a little more pressure perhaps than the gap would suggest. Nonetheless, he is on his way to win number 2 of the weekend. Punches the air with both fists with delight. Vergne wins. Oh, and Calado in 4th place. Oh dear, tyres very tired at the end of the race. Here comes Ollie Webb, just a little too far away to capitalise on that. Calado played a get-out-of-jail card there, didn't he? Nearly dropped the ball. Manesha Idapar, our national class winner. The fumbling leaves Calado in 4th. Felipe Nasser not quite close enough to make a pass on our race 2 winner, Jean-Éric Vergne.
Jean-Éric, that was quite a race. To come from 7th to take the win, that was great.
Yeah, I had a really good race, and yeah, my race was exactly only in the first lap. I had for once a really good start. I made up 2 positions.
To be on the podium again is very good, and for the team as well, I think it's a great result.
It's very productive. I'm starting 3rd tomorrow morning, so just got to keep pushing on from there and keep the podiums coming, and yeah, just keep getting the points. That's the main thing.
It's round 18 here at Spa, and we've very much been blessed with some nice, hot, sunny weather. Now, our championship leader, Jean-Éric Vergne, starts in 2nd place. He's pretty much dominated the weekend so far, but it's Britain's Ollie Webb who starts in pole position. He's here. He's got to get into that corner first. Here's Martin.
Thanks, Diana. Yes, Oliver Webb starts on pole position, and he can't really allow any slip-ups here because Jean-Éric Vergne is now about to go into race 18 with already 8 wins in the championship. He's nearly won every other time he started. Dan McKenzie, the other Fortec driver, lines up in 3rd place behind his teammate, and Hitech's Gabriel Diaz is 4th, ahead of James Calado, who fumbled his way to 4th place in race 2. Top Euro Series racer is Brazil's Daniel Juncadella in 6th, ahead of Rupert Svensson-Cook and Felipe Nasser. And our national class pole sitter James Cole starts 21st. Well, Diana was right, wasn't she? Beautiful weather conditions here at Spa, not a drop of rain. There's our pole man, Ollie Webb, ready to jump away, hopefully into the lead. He'll be thinking of this final race. Green flag waves at the back, and it'll be a Formula 1 style start. 5 red lights on, and away they go. Oh my goodness, Dan McKenzie has stalled, and further back, he's not the only one. That's Howell Lloyd, I think, and Webb leads from Vergne into the first corner. Everybody has avoided the stalled cars as they get going. Oh, few running out wide there. Was that Webb going out wide? It was. In the first corner, Lucas Foresti went out a little wide as well. Well, Webb somehow manages to come back on with the lead. That often doesn't happen, but he's got Jean-Éric Vergne right behind, and Vergne is already charging. 3rd place is Gabriel Diaz with the blue and white car of James Calado going around the outside of him. So the 2 Carlin men on the driver's left up the straight. Webb moves and defends on the inside, so he will have the lead as they get to Les Combes in 2nd place with the yellow nose. That is Jean-Éric Vergne, our 2-time race winner, and James Calado set around the outside of Gabriel Diaz to take 3rd at Les Combes. Diaz on board now, 4th place, checks the mirrors. Right behind him will be Daniel Juncadella. Yes, the turquoise car is there ahead of Felipe Nasser, 5th and 6th. So Fortec lead the race, but drama for Daniel McKenzie, who stalled from 3rd on the grid. And he's way down in the midfield somewhere. On board with Diaz into Eau Rouge, listen. Not a waver of a lift. Nice line as well. Carries the speed all the way up the hill. So does Webb, the leader. So does Verne. And again, Verne is closer. Pulls out of the toe. Wally Webb squeezing him right onto the grass. And Verne doesn't like that, and nor should he. That was a little naughty by Ollie Webb. You can squeeze, but don't force the other guy off the road. Not at those sort of speeds. Nonetheless, Verne kept his foot buried. Kept the car controlled. He's got the lead. Ollie Webb in second place. Massive queue of cars behind them. We're with Lucas Foresti. He's in 14th place. He's just been passed by Jim Pla in another one of those ART cars from the Euro Series. Let's have a look here. Well, Jean-Éric Verne squeezed onto the grass by Ollie Webb, and lucky for both men, there was no contact between them. Contact has happened though. Manisha Idafar and James Cole in the national class lead battle. Idafar's just had a puncture changed. Cole's got a damaged nose wing. Oh my goodness me! Foresti off in the barriers on the run down the hill into Eau Rouge. That is a very fast place to go off. And with damage, he's getting the car slowed, and it's Daisuke Nakajima behind who's lost a nose. That was surely contact between the two of them. Meanwhile, Carlos Huertas coming around Gabriel Diaz. Ooh, good move by Huertas, up into 4th position. Good run up the Kemmel Straight after a good run through Eau Rouge. And just in front of them is 2nd and 3rd, and Ollie Webb now closest in 3rd place, because James Calado has moved by him for 2nd. So Calado's gone up 1, Diaz down 1 into 5th position. And there is Carlos Huertas with the blue and white, and Gabriel Diaz behind him. So 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th very close together. Here is James Cole. Lots of damage on the front of that car. That wing won't be helping him around any of the fast sweeping right-handers here. That will feel very ugly indeed. And the T-Sport team with their 2 drivers battling for the lead of the National Class Championship. Meanwhile, red and white car of Daniel McKenzie in 15th, trying to pass Nicola Marog in the Prema Power Team entry for 14th spot. They're up behind William Buller. Oh, lunges to the inside as Marog makes a mistake. And Howell Lloyd, the black car with the orange stripe, trying to go by as well. And don't forget, he stalled on the grid, as did Dan McKenzie, and they're only 1 car apart. They were many rows apart to start with. Down through Eau Rouge. And up the other side, Carlos Huertas. There's his mum, Adriana, watching on the monitors. Huertas trying to pass Ollie Webb now as well. This is for 3rd place. Huertas right. Oh my goodness, contact, and Webb heavily into the barriers, and his mum missed it. What? She didn't see. Well, the webcam shows us slowing as we grind along the barriers uphill, and she still doesn't know what's happened to her son, and nor do we. It looked like he carried on, but Ollie Webb is out, and there's debris everywhere. Let's have a look. Webb tries to squeeze, and Huertas, oh, a tiny bobble between the two of them. They converge like magnets. And Webb heavily in the barriers. Well, that could easily have happened earlier on to Verne when he was defending the lead. And Huertas with a puncture and a damaged nose wing. And that's the end of the race. Oh, a shame. That's going to be his 3rd 0 score of the weekend. Alexander Sims now ahead of Gabriel Diaz and Felipe Nasser. This is 3rd, 4th and 5th on the road. And don't forget, Gabriel Diaz then effectively looking for 3rd points in the championship, because Sims will not score. Jean-Éric Verne miles away in front. An incredible Spa weekend for the Frenchman. Winner race 1, winner race 2, and again winner in race 3. 9th win from the 18th start of the season. What a record. It's a Carlin 1-2. James Calado will take 2nd place as well. And the team are delighted with Jev as he does a massive lock-up right in front of them. Well, James Cole's T-Sport team will have a lot of work to do to repair the car, and that of Manisha Idafar. But nonetheless, despite their clash, it is James Cole that claims victory here, winning the national class at Spa to end out a solid weekend. Confirmation there, Cole on top in the national class, Alexander Sims 3rd on the road, but it was a runaway victory again for Jean-Éric Verne.
Jean-Éric, many congratulations. This must be the perfect weekend, really.
As the perfect weekend. Honestly, when I came here, I didn't think that I would have done 3 wins. I think it's the best weekend in the year, 3 wins in a row.
Well, James Cole and Manisha Idafar now tied at the top of the national class, and they together have got 1 point more than Jean-Éric Verne, our outright championship leader.
Hello there and welcome to the British Formula 3 International Series, where all the action this week comes from the Thruxton Motor Racing Circuit in Hampshire. Now it's a crucial time for all of those involved as they battle hard to find out who comes out on top in rounds 19, 20 and 21. Race 1 at Thruxton happened on Saturday evening, so here's Martin Haven to bring us up to date.
Jean-Éric and teammate James Calado started on the front row as Jasman Jafar made perhaps the most obvious jump start of the season. Daisuke Nakajima discovered that Thruxton punishes you hard if you make even the slightest mistake on its high-speed sweeps. Out front, Verne came under pressure from teammate Calado, who picked up a great toe to shoot through into the lead. Meanwhile, Alex Brundle clashed with Manisha Edafar. They locked wheels at the chicane and both went off, and that allowed James Cole to take the national class lead. But it was another James Calado who went on to take win number 3 of the year. A beautiful day at Thruxton. Let's take a look at how they line up for round 20 of the Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series. Felipe Nasser, for the second week in a row, takes a reverse pole from 7th in race 1, with Luca Foresti making a first front row start alongside him. Ollie Webb really needs another win here. He lines up 3rd, ahead of Adriano Buzaid in the first of the Carlin cars. Rupert Svensson-Cook hasn't won since Alton Park, and he starts in 5th, ahead of Jean-Éric Verne, our points leader. 7th, James Calado, taking win number 3 in race 1. And in 8th place is Daniel McKenzie. Our national class pole sitter James Cole starts in 14th. Fabulous conditions here at Thruxton. Exactly what you need. The last thing they want is rain at this high-speed track. Felipe Nasser on pole on the left, and all Brazilian front row. Foresti on the right. Revs rise. Oh, a long hold. Away they go. Good start from Foresti. Look at the green car go. He's going around the outside as their Buzaid tries to squeeze Jean-Éric Verne for 3rd place. Here's Ollie Webb. He is in 3rd, and it is Foresti that leads. And Webb on the outside in the red and white car, trying to go around Felipe Nasser for 2nd. They're alongside each other. There's Dan McKenzie, the other Fortec car. And it's Lucas Foresti that leads into the country. Felipe Nasser in 2nd. Red and white is Ollie Webb in 3rd, ahead of Adriano Buzaid. We're in 6th with James Calado, so Jean-Éric Verne did not manage to make the move stick on Adriano Buzaid, and Calado looking at the Frenchman as well. Here we go then. And Ollie Webb is getting sucked along as well. Here we go. Nasser's looking outside. Foresti defends. Nasser's almost on the grass, and he's trying to outbrake him. Contact! The 2 of them are off, and they're on the grass on the inside. Foresti can't get it stopped. Nasser is out, and Foresti scoots on in the middle and comes in about 6th position. Svensson-Cook having to avoid him. Around goes William Buller, and Foresti brings, well, a Forest back in with him. Let's have a look again. Foresti in the centre, squeezes Nasser, and then contact under braking. Well, that really was a racing incident, but the 2 of them are out. On board with Foresti. Whoa! Stop, 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 stop! Trying to get it all sorted out, and manages not to get hit by anybody. On board with our race leader, Ollie Webb. Which mirrors is he checking? Well, both of them into the chicane. Jean-Éric Verne around the outside for the lead. The Frenchman went the long way, but he had the speed in the slipstream, and he has the lead of the race. Now, the shorter second race doesn't pay as many points as winning the 1st or the 3rd, but they are still points. And Verne back in front. Now, can Ollie Webb stay with him and use the aerodynamic slipstream to close on the new leader and overtake him once more? If that happens, then we are in for a battle royal to the end. Well, here's how it looks from the outside. Verne with the speed goes around the outside. Ollie Webb defending on the inside, but Verne had the speed to cover him. James Calado up the hill. Ollie Webb is the target. Webb moves left, moves right, moves into the inside, and Calado goes straight around the outside. 2 laps, 2 passes on Ollie Webb. He's struggling for speed now. The Carlin cars are getting quicker as the race progresses, and Ollie Webb does not have the speed that he had at the start. He was able to drive away into the sort of lead that Jean-Éric Verne has now, but then the Carlin drivers caught him and have both passed him. Last lap for Jean-Éric Verne. James Calado, his teammate, in 2nd. was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 result for Carlin in race 1. They've got 1, 2 and 4 at the moment. Alex Brundle battling with Howell Lloyd. Manesha Idafar leading the national class. James Cole, who's dropped off the pace a little towards the end of the race. But there's no dropping off the pace for Jean-Éric Vergne. He's been out front, lapping consistently quickly. Fastest lap, average speed 127.06 miles an hour, and it is win number 10 for the Frenchman. Jean-Éric Vergne takes the checker from Calado and Webb, 2nd and 3rd in the points, and despite being bounced off at the chicane, it's a national class win for Manesha Idafar. Confirmation, Manesha Idafar comes out on top in the national class and the podium. Ollie Webb, James Calado, both trailing in the wake of our winner, Jean-Éric Vergne.
I had a good start. I won 1 position, then I think there was a crash. I won 2 positions like this. I overtook James and then Ollie Webb in the end. And, finally, a really good race with fastest lap, 12 points. Really good for the championship.
So ready now for the big one of the weekend, the 40-minute feature race, and yet again Jean-Éric Vergne on pole position. His 2nd pole of the weekend, clearly the fastest man in qualifying, but Carlin have really unlocked something. Carlin 1st and 2nd with Vergne and Calado. Their teammate Adriano Bazide is in 3rd place, and in fact 5 of the top half dozen are from Carlin Motorsport. Oliver Webb in 4th, the only interloper. His Fortec car needs to produce another big result here. Rupert Svensson, Cook and Lucas Foresti line up on the next row, with William Buller 7th and Howell Lloyd in 8th. Manesha Idafar sits on the national class pole, and he will start from 15th. We're now officially into the final third of the season, race 21 of 30, 40 minutes around the high-speed boulder destruction. Jean-Éric Vergne and James Calado, 1st and 2nd on the grid. Revs rise, it's a long hold, a very long hold, and William Buller can't hold any longer. He goes early, and Dan McKenzie is stalled on the grid, and that's his 2nd stalled at Spa as well. Luckily, it seems everyone's avoided him. Jean-Éric Vergne leads from James Calado. James is having a look to the inside that becomes the outside. Calado trying to take the lead. He's still there, but Vergne trims his nose off. Jean-Éric Vergne leads from James Calado. Now, who got into 3rd? Was it Bazide or Webb? Calado checks the mirrors. It's Bazide in 3rd. He's having a look as well. William Buller in 4th, ahead of Ollie Webb in 5th place. Action all the way down the field. On board with Max Snegerev. In front of us is Daisuke Nakajima. Snegerev in the 3rd of the Fortec cars as his teammate Dan McKenzie comes through, recovering from that stall. You could hear the Russian off the throttle there for a fraction to let him through. Meanwhile, there'll be no off the throttle from Jean-Éric Vergne. James Calado will have to take the lead the hard way, and he's going around the outside. Vergne tries to cover and does so successfully. Frenchman still has the lead into the chicane at the end of lap 1. It's a Carling 1-2-3 with Adriano Bazide in 3rd position, and the red and white car of Ollie Webb there in 5th position. Daisuke Nakajima jumps in front of Jasman Jafar and into the top 10. We're just behind them with Gabriel Diaz for High-Tech. There's the Malaysian driver into Campbell. 4-corner sequence here named after land speed record holders Campbell, Cobb and Seagrave from the 1930s, 40s and 50s. And Richard Noble, his name on the corner they've just gone through. And very appropriately too for the fastest track in the country. Average speeds for the race over 125 miles an hour, and they're topping 150 as they come through Church and start the climb up the Woodham Hill. And here we go with James Calado. Look at the advantage he's got. That's not a more powerful car. That's the slipstream from the car in front, dragging him along. He gets the slingshot, takes the inside line. Jean-Éric Vergne saw him coming and knew that defence would be fairly pointless. And it is now James Calado that leads at the end of lap 2. Well, I'm sure, are in for a real slipstreaming thriller. Alex Brundle drops back in after taking the scenic route through the chicane. So Calado now leads from Vergne. Bazide still in 3rd. William Buller in 4th, awaiting a drive-through. The Carlin boys enjoying themselves there. All their cars. The setup seems to be working really well. help. And Jean-Éric Vergne, we believe, fresh tyres for this final race, so he may have a little bit more in hand, particularly as the race continues through its long 40-minute duration, than either of his teammates. James Calado leads. Here comes Jean-Éric Vergne. Now the boot is back on the other foot. Vergne in the slipstream. He's coming quicker. He's coming up the inside. Calado again knows that defence is almost futile. He doesn't want to give the place away, but the car behind is clearly quicker. Jean-Éric Vergne back in the lead then. James Calado now must stay with him and try and use the slipstream to his advantage. Next time round and at the chicane, that's Daniel McKenzie. Off as well is Snegerev, and there was more than McKenzie involved there. Well, McKenzie's lost his nose ring. He'll be into the pits. I think Adley Fong is off in front of Snegerev. Yes, there's Fong's blue car. Now, were they involved with each other? Safety car is out to recover the damage. Let's have a look. Well, so, oh my goodness, in the background, Adley Fong straight over the top of James Cole's car, I believe. And Snegerev went off in avoidance. Going green once more. Here we go. Jean-Éric Vergne jumps away. James Calado must go with him, and Ollie Webb missing the opportunity there to be right with Adriano Bezide at the restart. That's a big mistake by the Fortec driver. He was dropped by the Carlin boys through the chicane. Not good. Last lap up the hill for probably the final time in his career. Jean-Éric Vergne into the club chicane, comfortably in the lead. Ollie Webb in second, James Calado in third, but it's win number 11 for the Frenchman, and Jean-Éric Vergne does it yet again. And here is Bullard, last corner, oh, looks up inside Diaz, avoids disaster. No, he doesn't. Hits his teammate anyway, and Idefar is going to try and come through. National class winner is being squeezed against the wall. That's rather futile by Buller, I'm afraid. Malaysia Idefar takes his second national class win of the weekend. James Calado again on the podium, this time he's third behind Ollie Webb. But Jean-Éric Vergne wins for the 11th time this season.
I put away directly. I tried to push really hard in the first laps. And then in the middle of the race, I just released a little bit. And in the end, as I had nothing to do, I just pushed again. And I was doing really good time, so the pace was good. Big thanks to Carlin, Volkswagen, and again, a good weekend.
James Cole now breaks clear in sole lead of the national class. Fantastic battle for second at the moment. Ollie Webb just a single point ahead of James Calado, but Jean-Éric Vergne is our clear championship leader.
Hello there and welcome to the British Formula 3 International Series, where this week we come to Silverstone for the second time this year. Our drivers will be racing on the old Grand Prix circuit, and we'll see them battling through the fantastic bridge corner onto the complex for rounds 22, 23 and 24 as we reach the sharp end of the competition. For race one, it was Jean-Éric Vergne in pole position. However, he was slow away from the lights on the damp track, allowing Lucas Foresti into the lead. Another rain shower forced several drivers into unplanned pit stops to change tyres. The front runners decided to stay out, and James Calado reeled in Vergne and then took the lead, allowing James Calado to take his fourth win of the year.
That's the best feeling I've ever had, and one of the most exhilarating and hardest races I've ever done.
So for round 23 here at Silverstone, it's Carlos Huertas on pole position now. Not only has he got to keep everyone behind him if he wants to win this one, he's also got a pit stop to contend with as well. So let's get to our commentator, Martin Haven.
Thanks, Di. Here's how they line up for round 23 of the Coupetage British Formula 3 International Series. Carlos Huertas on pole, 7th in race 1. And starting alongside him, Alton Park sprint race winner Rupert Svensson-Cook. That must seem a long while ago. Felipe Nasser and Adriano Bezide, an all-Brazilian at row 2. Nasser, of course, with Lucas Foresti, who starts 5th on the front row in Thruxton. That didn't end well, did it? Jean-Éric Vergne is 6th ahead of our race 1 winner, James Calado, who has only been beaten once here around Silverstone. 8th place is Daniel McKenzie. Our national class pole sitter James Cole starts 19th. Carlos Huertas on pole position then. The Colombian with a chance to win his first race in British F3. Rupert Svensson-Cook alongside as they get away. Very slow start there for James Calado. Ollie Webb goes one side and Daniel McKenzie the other. Adriano Bazide, Felipe Nasser and Rupert Svensson-Cook all jostling for second place as they go into Copse for the first time. But Carlos Huertas jumping clear. There he is, leading from Bazide and Nasser. Svensson-Cook with Jean-Éric Vergne, the yellow nose of the Frenchman, right alongside, wheel to wheel through the Beckett's S's. Goodness me, that's close and a good move. Very determined stuff by the Frenchman. In comes our race leader, Carlos Huertas, yet to win this season. Again, Nasser attacking, looking more aggressive than anyone else out on the circuit at the moment, and certainly giving Jean-Éric Vergne the hard time that Webb and Calado wish that they could be giving him. Stop and go for Huertas, maybe not quite as quick as Jean-Éric Vergne's stop. So the race leader, as he was when he came in, heads back out. Battle for the national class lead. These two have just both completed pit stops, and James Cole coming back out just in front of Manisha Idefar, who stopped a little earlier. Here's Adriano Bazide, he's the race leader as he comes onto pit road. So different strategies being used by the teams and drivers. Drifting out wide there, Idefar. He just got in front of Cole, rejoins just behind him. Those two dicing offline. You can see the other two cars behind them on the racing line. James Cole being very defensive. That's Alex Brundle, car number 7. Stop and go very quickly for Adriano Bazide, and that may play well for him as he comes back out to pit road. Who is where? Don't forget, Huertas was in front. Where's Huertas? Can't see him. He's not in front. Adriano Bazide has the lead of the race. Confirmation there with our own eyes. Carlos Huertas is in second place. Jean-Éric Vergne in third. Felipe Nasser in fourth. So later stops by Bazide and Vergne, leapfrogging them in front of their rivals, Huertas and Nasser. They've gone from second and fourth to first and third. James Calado in fifth place there, coming onto the hangar straight in the closing stages. And Ollie Webb out of the running in sixth position. It's a chance to take the checkered flag for the first time this season. Round 23 goes to Carlin Motorsport and to Adriano Bazide. He's delighted with that. National class honours will go to James Cole. Again, the late pit stop working for him. Confirmation of Cole's national class win. Jean-Éric Vergne, third place. Carlos Huertas, so close, but only second, as Adriano Bazide claims his first win of the year.
Adriano, many congratulations. How sweet does that win feel?
It feels great. I think we're doing a good job. We're struggling to get that win. My team, my engineer, he did a fantastic job with this strategy, and we wanted the strategy. We were second before we came in the pit, and you know, he made sure I was stopping the right time, and he pushed me on the radio and the right times. I think it worked out really well, and so I'm really happy. Thanks for the team.
Here's how they line up then for round 24 of the Cooper Tyres British Formula 3 International Series. Jean-Éric Vergne poised with perhaps even one hand on the championship already. He starts on pole ahead of Adriano Bazide, our race 2 winner. James Calado and Ollie Webb start on row 2, must get in front of the Frenchman if they're to stop him winning the title at Silverstone. Rupert Svensson-Cook lines up 5th place, another strong qualifying for him ahead of Lucas Foresti, with Alex Brundle 7th fastest, just in front of William Buller. And our national class pole setter Manisha Idefar is in 12th position on the grid. New pits for 2011's British Grand Prix fast taking shape as we get ready for perhaps the title decider. Very slow start from James Calado, third on the grid. Slow away for Alex Brundle as well as Jean-Éric Vergne leads from race 2 winner Adriano Bazide. And Ollie Webb looking inside successfully, I think, to take third place from James Calado. On board with Jazeman Jafar. 16-year-old rookie from Mexico, Juan Carlos Sistos alongside, won the national class in race 1, incidentally. But Jazeman Jafar makes short work of him. Alex Brundle there. Now he's in the battle behind Rupert Svensson-Cook in 7th. Jean-Éric Vergne still leading here. This is his 6th race this season at Silverstone. He has yet to claim a win. He looks like he's going to put that right. And if he does, there's his sister Leah watching. then Jean-Éric will have got a 50% winning record. This is race 24. He's on target for race win number 12. James Calado and Ollie Webb couldn't stop him. Flapping rear engine cover hasn't stopped him either. And it looks as though Jean-Éric Vergne, at 20 years of age, is going to become the 2010 British Formula 3 International Series champion. And also the first ever Frenchman, incredibly, to win this title. Out of the last corner, Silverstone has not been kind to him so far, but it is going to be the scene of his greatest career triumph so far. The British Formula 3 International Series for 2010 goes to Jean-Éric Vergne, win number 12 of the season. The Carlin team applaud, and there's Daniel Ricciardo, last year's champion with the team. Jean-Éric stopping off to pick up a national flag, the tricolour, as Manesha Idafar will race towards a national class win, vital for him. Smiling Daniel Ricciardo knows how the championship feels, and now so too does our new champion, Jean-Éric Vergne. Confirmation of Manesha Idafar's latest win in the national class. Overall, it's taken 6 times around the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit for Jean-Éric Vergne to claim his first win, but he's done it.
Jean-Éric Vergne, many congratulations. The first Frenchman to win British Formula 3. How does that feel?
I don't know, I think I don't really realize now. Yeah, I was thinking a lot in the last laps, and I don't know, I just feel great, and it will take some time maybe to realize, yeah, first French to win the championship. Yeah, I don't know, just a big thanks for the whole season to Carlin, Volkswagen, Red Bull, all the people who support me, and really great season. It's so nice to finish here in Silverstone, the main circuit in England, and I'm really, really happy.
James Cole leads the national class title race ahead of Manesha Idafar. Ollie Webb and James Calado now have to focus on being best of the rest, as Jean-Éric Vergne has wrapped up the British Formula 3 crown.
Hello and welcome to Snetterton here in Norfolk for the penultimate round of the 2010 British Formula 3 International Series. Now, this circuit looks pretty easy on paper, but it's definitely got a few tricks up its sleeve. Race 1 happened on Saturday afternoon. However, a massive storm delayed proceedings, leaving several garages flooded and parts of the track undrivable. When things finally got underway, it was Adriano Bazide who started from his first pole of the year. James Calado and Ollie Webb were battling together, but it was Ollie that came out ahead. In the closing stages, Bazide made a mistake but clung on to the lead from Vergne. Vergne finally managed to force his way past and go on to take his 13th win. So for round 26 here at Snetterton, it's a reverse grid for this one, which sees the top 6 swap places, and it's Gabriel Diaz that starts from pole position for high-tech racing. Now, the weather conditions here have been pretty changeable all weekend. The sun is out, but they've got wet tyres on. Anything can happen.
Here's how they line up for round 26 of the Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series. Gabriel Diaz starts on pole position from Daisuke Nakajima. Both of those on wet weather tyres. First of the slick tyre gamblers is Ollie Webb, who lines up in third, ahead of Brazil's Felipe Nasser on wet, as is his compatriot in fifth position, Adriano Bazide. And then another bundle of gamblers, including the new champion Jean-Éric Vergne in sixth, William Buller in seventh, and James Calado in 8th. Also gambling on slicks are national class pole sitter Manesha Idafar, who starts in 15th. Wrapped up against the cold, of course, it's Bank Holiday Monday. Here we go then. Revs rise on this wet track. Front row on wets, second row Ollie Webb on slicks, starting very slowly. So too Jean-Éric Vergne, James Calado coming at him, and 3 wide further back. It is Gabriel Diaz leads into the first corner from Daisuke Nakajima, and Adriano Bazide making a good start. He's gone from 5th on the grid to 3rd place. Max Snegerev there streaking through, must be on wets as well. Lead trio on wets definitely. So too Felipe Nasser in 4th place. There's Jean-Éric Vergne with James Calado and Carlos Huertas, who has got wet weather tyres on, as has Jazeman Jaffar. They're trying to come one either side. Calado and Vergne are going to fill the straight pretty much so as they come down the Revit straight for the first time. And it looks like Huertas was down the inside into the S's. And has he got through? Not quite, no, he got shuffled back, but Jaffar squeezed through on the other side. And Vergne and Calado remain as they were, line astern. They're in 8th and 9th, Jazeman Jaffar then up to 7th place. And William Buller in front of him is also on slick tyres. 6th position for the Hi-Tech driver. Hi-Tech also lead the race. Oh, and Calado out wide as they both go by Ollie Webb, one on either side. Webb really starting slowly. There he is, the red and white car creeping out of Russell. So Diaz leads from Nakajima and Bezaid and Nasser. That's your lead quartet. William Buller, the best on slicks at the moment as we ride with James Calado, showing you how much spray there is. Now, they're surviving on slick tyres, but at the moment, all the wet-shod cars are still going quicker, as you would expect. Little glance in the mirrors there from James Calado. He and Jean-Éric Vergne squeeze out wide to try and keep the momentum going, but look at the grip that Carlos Huertas had there. All those grooves moving the water away from under the surface of the tyre allows it to get down to the road. The other problem with the slick tyres is they need a higher operating temperature to really grip, and in the rain you don't get that. The wet weather rubber is a much softer consistency, heats up much quicker, gives you grip in really cold temperatures, which is what the track has got now with water on it. In 3rd place, Adriano Bezaid chasing Nakajima and looking for a move up the podium. Don't forget he was 2nd in race 1 to this man, Jean-Éric Vergne, and the slicks need a dry track to really generate some heat. At the moment, they are still struggling, and the wet weather tyre is definitely the one to have. Well, Raikkonen Robertson's Daisuke Nakajima is in 2nd place, but Carlos Huertas also on wets for the team, struggling here, trying to get past Jean-Éric Vergne. And Vergne, once he gets up to speed on the straight, has just about got enough to hang on. He's really on the wet part of the road, though, and that should give the advantage to Huertas. That's William Buller just in front of them. So Jazeman Jaffar has got by him, courtesy of the wet weather tyres, as Huertas goes the long way round the outside. On board with Ollie Webb then, and into the SE. Oh my goodness, he's lost it! Around it goes, onto the grass. That's his teammate Max Snegerev taking avoiding action, as Webb gathers his thoughts and rejoins the track several places further back. Diaz has gone ahead of Nakajima and Bezaid. 4th place Nasser, so 2 Raikkonen Robertson cars in the top 4, 2nd and 4th. But it's Hi-Tech's Diaz that leads. He's the fastest car on wets. Fastest on slicks is also from Hi-Tech as well. So William Buller covering both camps there from the Hi-Tech team. On board with Bezaid. Nakajima drifts a little wide. Here's a chance for 2nd place. The Japanese keeps the momentum. Oh, but doesn't. Bezaid came right out to the exit curve. That was good thinking by Bezaid, making sure that Nakajima couldn't come down the slip road there at full speed and back onto the track. So Adriano Bezaid up to 2nd place. That's where he finished race 1. Now, can he get to Gabriel Diaz? James Calado right behind Jean-Éric Vergne at the moment. As Vergne drifts wide, so too does Calado. Still struggling a little for grip, those cars, but Carlos Huertas in front is not getting too far away. And Calado's got a good toe on the Frenchman. Here we go. Jean-Éric Vergne now with 13 wins in the championship. Calado with 4. Looking to the inside. Dry enough to squeeze through. It is, and he hangs on. So he moves up to 9th position. Struggling for grip on the exit as well. Tail stepped out as he jumped on the gas. Diaz now looking for wetter parts of the track ahead of Bezaid, who is definitely closing. And there is Jazeman Jaffar. He's in 7th place, just ahead of Carlos Huertas, who is being caught fast by James Calado. And William Buller has got by Jazeman Jaffar for 6th position. Buller now the fastest man on the track. So slicks are definitely the thing to have now, but we've got 12 of what is probably going to be 18 lap race distance already completed, so time is against the recovering slick shot drivers. Huertas holds on for another lap. No spray at all coming off the front wheels of James Calado's car there, so that again shows that things are drying out nicely and the slicks are coming into their own. The wets will start to overheat. Huertas doesn't want to give this one up easily. Long straights. Don't forget, this is the longest they race on. Can seem to take forever to get to the end of it. Into the S's. And again, Huertas scrabbles round on the outside. Calado will have to worry about Jean-Éric Verne's yellow nose tucking inside him. Calado having to lift off in the bomb hole, not to run into Huertas. The wet is not holding its own in the fast corners. The slick comfortably better there. Scything by, and so too is Jean-Éric Verne past Carlos Huertas. Both through the same corner there. And William Buller again has gone quickly. James Calado even quicker now. The slick is nearly 3 seconds a lap quicker than the wet. Manesha Idafar also on slicks. He's leading the national class here. Battle for fourth place. We're with William Buller. In front of us is fourth position man Felipe Nasser. And Buller goes the long way round the outside. And the normal racing line is nice and dry at the S's. He's up into fourth. Oh, very sideways on the exit, but he is really charging. He knows time is against him. Bated breath there on the high-tech pit wall. William Buller, will his gamble work out? There's Nakajima almost stationary at Russell. Diaz for High-Tech has led onto the last lap from Adriano Bazide and Daisuke Nakajima. Here comes William Buller passing the pit lane. I'm sure he can hear them urging him on. Come on, come on. Oh, Nakajima has a big lose and another one. The tyres have given up. Oh, and Buller's nearly on the grass on the inside. Wow, that was a heart-in-the-mouth moment for William Buller, but he is up to third place. Can he make it a high-tech 1-2? That ball of spray in the distance, that's Bazide. And Bazide, oh, the ball disappears as he gets on the brakes into the S's. Well, Buller's done a fantastic job, never lower than 8th. From 7th on the grid, he really made the wet weather tyre look much more survivable than some of his rivals. And now in third place, third of a lap to go. Bazide is definitely in sight. Is he going to be able to make it a high-tech 1-2? Oh! Lucas Foresti gets it all wrong. Clatters into Carlos Huertas at the S's. Through goes Snegerev and Brundle, but it is going to be victory in Snetterton for Gabriel Diaz and High-Tech. Adriano Bazide in second place again, and William Buller, a fantastic third. Oh! Flat tyre for Foresti, that's not going to help him much. Oh dear. Everybody scrambling safely past. Snegerev and Brundle get by him at the line. Well, Manesha Idafar winning the national class. William Buller a great charge to third. Adriano Bazide clung to second, but it's High-Tech's Gabriel Diaz who wins on wets.
Gabriel, many congratulations, a fantastic drive today. Difficult conditions, but you got it all right.
Yeah, difficult conditions, we got opportunity to start on pole. Fortunately, we had a good car. We got the opportunity and third win, really good for the team. The team is working really hard, so we all deserve it.
Round 27 here at Snetterton, and it's Adriano Bazide taking his second pole position of the weekend. And can he convert it into a win?
Here's how they line up for round 27 of the Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series. Adriano Bazide on pole position, looking for the win this weekend. Jean-Éric Verne sits alongside him now, 13 times a winner. James Calado, 4 wins for him. It's a Carlin top 3. Then 2 Raikkonen and Robertson cars, Felipe Nasser in 4th position and Daisuke Nakajima in 5th, while Fortech's Ollie Webb in 6th position, having missed out on any points in race 2, needs a good score here. Carlos Huertas and Gabriel Diaz make up row 4 of the grid, while James Cole, our national class pole sitter, will start 18th. Finally, some decent bank holiday weather here at Snetterton. Dry track for round 27 of the championship. Revs rise, all slow start for both second row men. Calado recovers, but Nakajima has gone by Nasser. And Nakajima looking to the outside as Verne and Bazide on the left of your screen battle. And it is Calado third into the first corner. There is William Buller, the hero of race 2 here. So Adriano Bazide leads from Jean-Éric Verne, and Nakajima still looking to try and make up third place ahead of James Calado. Alex Brundle alongside Rupert Svensson Cook. Oh my goodness, that's Webb! Oh, that is a huge off there. and he's just gone straight off at the first corner. Well, he was okay, it seems, in the car. That really will have knocked the wind out of his sails, though, and that's put a big 0 in his race 3 potential. Not a great weekend for Ollie Webb. Let's see what happens on board. Moving over to the left into the braking area. Oh, we had wheels on the wet grass, and that's like sheet ice. Oh, not good. Not good at all. Now then, here's a battle further back down the order. Local battle here. Max Snegerev with a yellow helmet in his red and white car behind the local team Lotus, of course, backing the light speed of Jay Bridger, and local boy Alex Brundle. Brundle in 15th, Bridger in 16th. Brundle's dad Martin, of course, based in Norfolk all his life, and there he is on the pit wall watching young Alex as he gets towards the end of his first year in British Formula 3. 15th, 16th and 17th, and who knows, maybe there will be a Lotus Formula 3 car in the future again, as there used to be in the past when Lotus built cars for just about every conceivable championship. Certainly the new owners at Lotus want to try and do that, and Bridger has a lunge down the inside at Sear onto the Revit straight. Brundle goes out wider, does a few extra meters, but keeps the throttle open just a fraction longer. And Max Snegerev, first time in the points, last time out, and he's going down the inside of both of them. That's a great move by the Russian. He has done them as well. So he moves up into 15th place, and Brundle and Bridger both move back one. They've got James Cole behind them, the national class contender, and Cole looking as though he might lose the lead of the national class with one race weekend remaining. Well, great move by Max Snegerev. Amazing what a bit of confidence can do. Brundle, of course, 8th last time out at Silverstone, his best result. Jay Bridger, 4th in Hockenheim in Germany earlier in the summer. Adriana Bezide, after a 2nd and a win at Silverstone last time out, 2 second places now. Does start to look as though this might be 3rd time lucky, but Jean-Éric Vergne, the champion behind, never a man to forget. Oh, Bridger having a run at Brundle. Looks like Brundle's got Riches a little wrong. Exiting Sear again, Brundle all the way out on the exit there. And still keeps his nose in front. Bridger needs to be tucked up behind him for the toe, but he's got a bit of an overlap, so he's going nowhere fast. And that gives James Cole perhaps ideas. No, he doesn't do a Snegerev up the inside as Brundle again covers into the S's. That's dramatic left-right switch there at the end of the long Revit straight. Rupert Spencer-Cook in 10th place in the blue and white car, our race 2 winner at Alton Park, ahead of Howell Lloyd and Dan McKenzie, who is also a race winner this season, won in Rockingham the first pit stop race, remember that? And Howell Lloyd there, 5th place in Magny-Cours in France, his best result of the season. And Brundle into the pit lane, obviously not happy with the car. There's no pit stops in this race. And that promotes Bridger into 15th. James Cole now 16th, but it's all about national class points, and Manisha Idafar still in front of him. And those older national class cars, not as aerodynamic as the modern ones. Looks like Brundle's having a bit of wing taken off, front and rear. Really not happy with the balance of the car. Oh dear, nor is Adderley Fong, patently, because he has gone off to do a little bit of early autumn harvesting. Last lap, Adriana Bezide leads, and Jean-Éric Vergne not going to challenge him for the win unless Bezide goes off, because Calado is chasing him for 2nd place. Well, looks like it's going to be a Carlin 1, 2, 3. Down the Revit straight and safely through the S's. Now out of Russell comes Adriana Bezide to win race 3 in Snetterton. A big weekend for him. And Manisha Idafar wins his 4th national class race on the trot. All 3 here at Snetterton go to him. Confirmation of the 4th win in a row for Manisha Idafar. James Calado and Jean-Éric Vergne completing a Carlin podium in 3rd and 2nd behind our race winner, Adriana Bezide.
But he worked out really well. The car was fantastic the whole race through. I like thanks to my engineer, the boys, all the mechanics. They worked pretty hard the whole year, and they deserve it now. That's their moment. So.
Manisha Idafar now leads the national class by 4 with 1 race weekend remaining. And as Adriana Bezide closes on Ollie Webb, James Calado eases away in 2nd in the standings.
Hello and welcome to Brands Hatch here in Kent for the final weekend in the 2010 British Formula 3 International Series. Now we're going out in style with our challengers racing on the awesome Grand Prix circuit. But that's not all, because there's still some very important championship positions to be settled. For race 1 at Brands, it was Ollie Webb that claimed an important pole position. Off the line, it was a frantic start, but Webb held firm and kept the lead from rivals James Calado and Adriano Bazide. The national class battle was led by Benesha Idefar, keeping several championship class cars between him and his big rival James Cole. In the closing stages, Daniel McKenzie and Jean-Éric Verne closed in on Will Buller, and there was a great scrap for 6th. However, Will managed to hang on and keep position. Out front, Ollie Webb steadily extended his lead and went on to take his 3rd win of the year and closing up the battle for 2nd in the championship. It's round 29 here at Brands Hatch in Kent, and it's Fortec's Daniel McKenzie that takes pole position on this reverse grid. Now we know he's fast, but can he convert it to his 2nd win of the year?
Thanks, Diana. Here's how they'll line up for round 29 of the Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series. 7th in race 1 gives Dan McKenzie pole, the man who won the sprint race in Rockingham. Winless so far this season, though, lining up 2nd, William Buller. Carlos Huertas also yet to win. A chance here, perhaps, for both men. Behind Rupert Svensson-Cook in 4th place is the battle for 3rd in the points. Adriano Bazide is 5th, 17 points behind Ollie Webb, whereas James Calado is 22 points ahead of his closest rival. And Jean-Éric Verne starts in 8th place. The new champion, Benesha Idefar, the national class pole sitter, lines up in 11th. Well, winter really is here, isn't it? It's cold and grey. The summer conditions of Saturday, a long, distant memory. As Daniel McKenzie gets ready to lead the field away from pole position, William Buller alongside him, Carlos Huertas in 3rd place on this inclined Brands Hatch grid. Revs rise as they wait for the off. A great chance for McKenzie, makes a good getaway, slow from Huertas. Bazide trying to go to the right down the inside wall, and challenging for the lead was William Buller, but it looks as though Dan McKenzie leads into paddock. Yes, he does. Up the hill, Buller's cutting to the outside. He's just in front. William Buller around the outside, and there's contact, and around he goes. Danny McKenzie leads. Carlos Huertas 2nd win, with James Calado was 3rd, now 4th. As right behind him, oh my goodness, Jean-Éric Verne around the outside and across the curbs on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. Calado mugged by his teammates. Bazide went inside, Verne went outside. He lost 2 places between Druids and Graham Hill. How do you do that? Out onto the Grand Prix loop we go, and the leader has already checked out. There he is, Dan McKenzie with Carlos Huertas, white and blue. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 Carlin cars, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. Battles all the way down the order. Really important to try and make a move on this opening lap. Brands is a great, fast, flowing driver's track, but it is hard to pass on. Ollie Webb in 7th place at the moment, just behind this battle. Calado and Svensson-Cook there in the dark blue and white car. There's Ollie Webb, red and white. On board with James Calado then, he's got Rupert Svensson-Cook, his Carlin teammate, behind him. But of course, they're not sharing the same sponsorship package. They are racing for themselves, not for each other. So Svensson-Cook will pass Calado if he gets the opportunity, just as surely as Ollie Webb will in this battle for 2nd place. On board with Webb then, drifting out from Paddock Hill Bend. Up to Druids, just braking before the crest of the hill, closing right up to the apex, and that's exactly what happened first time round. Watch on the outside, William Buller brakes neatly, tries to get to the apex of the corner, but Dan McKenzie was still there. Just a little misjudgment from Buller, spins him out from what could have been a race-winning position. Now then, James Calado with the red, white and blue machine, attacking our reigning champion, our newly crowned champion, Jean-Éric Verne. The last weekend that these two will be racing against each other for a while, perhaps. Calado checking his mirrors, readjusting that as it flops down, checking where Rupert Svensson-Cook is. Well, he's still there in 6th position, and they're leaving Ollie Webb behind. Webb a long way back in 7th, and that may well mean that James Calado, if he finishes as he is now, will be runner-up in the championship. It'll put it out of Ollie Webb's grasp, and he's still having a go at Jean-Éric Verne. There is Manesha Idafar leading the national class from the national class pole. Already had 18 wins from 28 starts this season, and he is on target for the championship title. Oh, Adley Fong has got it all wrong there, changed his mind in Hawthorne and has gone off heavily as James Calado still attacks Jean-Éric Verne. Well, Fong is okay. Let's have a look. Yep. Just carried a little more speed in than he thought he could get away with, and unfortunately by changing his mind confirmed that. Last lap for our race leader Dan McKenzie, heading towards his 2nd win of the season. One more race to go for the man who's chasing him, Carlos Huertas, who has yet to win. But for McKenzie, a great victory, romping away from the field from lights to flag, completely unchallenged. Fantastic effort from Dan McKenzie. Manesha Idafar claiming another national class win. James Calado 2nd in the championship now, courtesy of that 5th. Adriano Bizide in 3rd, Carlos Huertas in 2nd. Had nothing to offer our winner, Dan McKenzie.
Daniel, many congratulations. I mean, you were really on it from the off.
Yeah, well, I know around here it's always hard to overtake, so I literally just got in the frame of that. It was qualifying, it just pumped out those quick times. Towards the end I realised I had a massive lead and the car started to go off, so I thought I'd take it a little bit easier just to not make any silly mistakes and ruin it. So great start, great race. Couldn't go any better than that really, could it?
So it's the final race of the 2010 season here at Brands Hatch. It's been a long one. We've had 30 races and it's been spectacular. Now, Daniel McKenzie starts on pole again. He's had a great weekend so far, so let's see if he can end the season on a high. Here's your race commentator, Martin Haven.
Thank you, Diana. Yes, final time of asking then for the Cooper Tires British Formula 3 International Series. And with Daniel McKenzie having just won race 2, what odds on him winning race 3? James Calado, pressure off. He's now 2nd in the title race. Ollie Webb, though, trying to battle on, holding on for 3rd place. Jean-Éric Verne confirmed as the champion. In 6th place is the danger for Ollie Webb. Adriano Bizide, 13 points behind him, 21 on offer, could still turn it over. William Buller and Felipe Nasser start on row 4 of the grid. Manesha Idafar, the national class pole sitter, is 13th. But James Cole could still take the crown. Well, it really is winter draws on, isn't it? It's starting to drizzle now at Brands to add insult to injury. Oh, and in the pit lane, Manesha Idafar, what's the problem? And Rupert Svensson-Cook, it's not a problem. They are going for wet weather tyres. Well, Idafar must finish. Doesn't have to beat James Cole, but he does have to score. That's a good safety measure. Away they go then, very slow from Dan McKenzie, the pole man. Very slow indeed. Away goes James Calado into the lead. Dan McKenzie goes backwards as Ollie Webb goes up to 2nd. We're in the middle of the pack with Alex Brundle. This is around 10th place. Few spits and spots here, but it's wet at Druids. Drive-through penalty, and that is for Lucas Foresti. Oh, and Brundle has been clattered into by Rupert Svensson-Cook. Don't forget, he started on wet weather tyres, Svensson-Cook. Brundle's on slicks, both in the gravel. They will need moving as well. Let's have a look what happens from Brundle's viewpoint. On the brakes, slowing down, clump. Oh dear. And then he showers in with gravel. Here's the battle for 2nd, long behind James Calado. Ollie Webb in the red and white with the yellow nose. Jean-Éric Verne drives around the outside. There's still grip here. It is drizzling a little. Ollie Webb drifts out wide, checks his mirrors. No, still good enough for 3rd, but not for long. William Buller really charging in these mixed conditions. Looks like the red and white Fortec cars of Webb here and his teammate Dan McKenzie from pole are struggling. And Manesha Idafar also having trouble getting the power down despite his wet weather tyres. Ooh, careful. Now, one of the quickest men on the circuit, Idafar, with those wets, even though it is not really fully soaked yet, it is slick enough for the dry weather tyres to struggle, and Raikkonen and Robertson's Boyo Hyatt and Malcolm Swetner are discussing a tyre change, and it may come now because the champion's binned it. Jean-Éric Verne has gone off in the gravel from second place. Now then, James Calado and the Carlin team have obviously taken Jean-Éric's accident as the cue to come in for wet weather tyres, and they're not alone. Don't forget, this is not Formula One. We're not talking 4 seconds. We're talking more like 25 or 30 seconds, so you lose a huge number of places on the track. You've got to gamble, as Felipe Nasser is there, that you won't do what Max Snegerev has done, go off on slicks, and you will make up the places. In 2 has come Ollie Webb, as Manesha Idafar rises up the order. He's been on wet since the start, and now it is really, really raining. Well, Idafar is starting to look like a real hero. Meanwhile, this is the battle for third. Adriano Bazide first down the hill in the dark blue car. He's on slicks, and straight up the inside, James Calado came back out from his pit stop in 9th. He's now up to 3rd place, and William Buller looking on the inside of Bazide as well. The track is soaking wet. Slicks are really not the tyre to have, but now that they're stuck with them, the slickshod runners have to pray it will dry out. There are our top 2 drivers just gone through shot. Here comes Calado in hunter-killer mode, looking for a final win of the season. Well, what a change the weather has brought. The first half of the race, the slick tyre drivers were just about holding their own. Now, if you haven't got a wet, you are in real trouble. And that is the situation facing our race leader, Daniel McKenzie. He's on slicks as second place falls to James Calado. Carlos Huertas, the lighter blue car, now down to 4th. In 1 corner, those 2 guys have gone by him. Calado on the way in, Buller on the way out. They are now 2nd and 3rd, and closing hand over fist on Dan McKenzie. And the T-Sport team looking excited as well. Manisha Idafar is inside the top half dozen. Here is Idafar. He's been on wet since the start, and Daisuke Nakajima nearly spins, skates around the outside of Druids, and Idafar will just pick a gap and go through because he's got the grip to do it. See there, the Japanese driver tried to shut the door, had no chance of getting the car to stay with him. Round the corner, and here's the lead. Yes, straight through has gone James Calado. First time of asking, gets to Surtees. Dan McKenzie has also been passed by William Buller, but on the straight, McKenzie's car is just as quick. He's coming back. No, he's not. Couldn't quite have that grip, that feel through Hawthorne. Had to let him go. Manisha Idafar now inside Dan McKenzie. This is for 3rd place, and Adley Fong is right there as well. Came right up behind McKenzie under braking at Druids, but it's Idafar who goes through up to 3rd place, and Adley Fong will pass him in the same corner as well for 4th position. Great result for both these guys, right up at the sharp end. And don't forget, the national class cars like Idafar is driving are 3 years old and older, so they're not quite as sophisticated aerodynamically and generally not quite as quick as the brand new machinery. Meanwhile, Dan McKenzie coming back at Adley Fong for 4th. Well, remember, he nearly did that to William Buller, and this time he had it go, so maybe it's getting a little drier. That's Nakajima. He's off at Druids as well. Very slippery there indeed. James Calado comes out of the final corner, the last corner of British Formula 3 for him, and he will claim win number 5 of the season in appallingly mixed conditions here at Brands Hatch. What a good drive by James Calado. He finishes on a real high, and Manisha Idafar 3rd on the road. After taking the safe option of wets at the start of the race, he clinches the national class title. His team boss Russell Ecott looking very happy, as well he might. James Calado, our race winner from William Buller and Adley Fong, but Manisha Idafar, big star in his margin as he claims 3rd on the road and the championship title in the national class.
Manisha, what a great way to finish the year.
Yeah, for sure. I got overall 3rd, so it's really amazing.
Well, you're the national champion.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
And that too. It was quite nerve-wracking actually, because passing some cars, and every car is like a bit dangerous now, but we got to the end and I'm the champion as well, so it's a good race.
Oh, what a race to end the season. I mean, it must have been so entertaining for the crowd. Dry tyres, wet tyres, you know, and it was touch and go, and I think the team made the correct decision in coming in for wets, and I pushed almighty hard throughout the whole race. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but it was good to jump Daniel at the start. I think that was what boosted me off, and yeah, just absolutely great, very emotional win, and really good to win the last race. It's a big confidence boost for ready for next year.
So here's how the championship ended up then. Jean-Éric, our first ever French British Formula 3 champion, ahead of James Calado and Ollie Webb. And Manisha Idafar, the first ever Bahraini championship winner in British F3.
So that's it from Brands Hatch. We've had an absolutely fantastic season, some great racing, and what a way to end it here. But we hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly have. So for myself and the team, we'll see you all next year. Bye-bye.